Jerry Brown. My heart smiles and never frowns. Soon I will make the resident. Try the power will soon go away. I will be still one day. I will command all of you. Your kids are meditating in school. Your kids are meditating in school. California, over Alice. California, over Alice. Over Alice. California, over Alice.
And we are live. Welcome to the Renegade podcast. I'm your host, Dashing Rogan, with my frequent sidekick, Artistic Layman.
I made you think your curse was something to be ashamed of. Whether we want it or not, it's a part of you. And I love every part.
What was that from?
That was from the Owl House, and how they decide to... I don't know if this is just... The Owl House has always had bad writing, but I'm not sure if this is just them being lazy or if they're just trying to make everything analogous to like a secret, like a homosexuality, because I honestly don't know at this point.
Dude, you know, honestly, the biggest problem with the homosexuals is that they never... Again, no one cares if you're gay. No one really cares. No, again... We're going to talk about that today, but no one cares if you're gay.
And in the context of the show, this character has a curse that turns her into an owl monster, and she's saying, well, I have to accept the fact that it's a part of you now. No, it's not. It's a curse. Her life would be qualitatively better if she didn't have it.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, she would. Not only would she not be turned into a monster, but this curse also caused her not to be able to use magic.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess that's important in that scenario. But I mean, if I turned into a werewolf every fucking night or so, as long as I, had, as long as I had a safe place to, go and frolic free in the wilderness, I'd be okay. Like everyone has that time of the month, giggity. But in all honesty, like gays, being gay is like being crazy. No one knows you are crazy until you do something crazy, right? And no, seriously, no one knows. And we're going to talk about that. Milo has been doing some really interesting shit lately. He's been doing some really honestly, very, very interesting, very interesting takes on certain things. Luke, I'll pull this up for you. Here you go. I actually we saw this at the very same time, right? I mean, this whole, they're coming after our kids. And they are. They admit it right here. They're fucking coming for our kids. Shit, here you go. For those of you who want to know, I am broadcasting. Milo has been doing some really interesting shit lately. He's been doing some really honestly, very, very interesting, very interesting takes on certain things. Luke, I'll pull this up for you. Here you go. A little bit of an echo. I actually we saw this at the very same time, right? I mean, this whole they're coming after our kids, and they are. They didn't. Yeah, I have a little bit of echo there. Don't worry, we got our setup a little messed up, ladies and gentlemen. I did some moving here and there, some soul searching, which I'll talk about later in this episode. But I wanted to get on one topic before this. Go ahead, play it, Luke.
I don't know because it says a message from the gay community performed by the San Francisco Gay Men's Chorus featuring Troy Iwata and Daniel Uncover and something. So I hope this is a troll, but if not.
Well, first off, we have the docs of those people. We could look them up if we wanted to. Again, not saying you will harass these people or criticize them. There are laws against it. But yeah, you could look these people up and see if they're legit. So I guess we could look that up in a bit.
The description says the San Francisco Gay Men's Choir, a crying circle for Bay Area pedestrians, took this video down in panic and shame, but it must be preserved as an example of accidental honesty. Oh no.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Play it.
But you're just frightened. You think that we'll corrupt your kids if our agenda goes unchecked. Funny, just this once, you're correct.
Really?
We'll corrupt your children. Happens bit by bit.
Gavin Newsom smile too. Oh.
Oh my! It's like it really is the Newsom smile, isn't it? That's the new name for it, the Newsom smile. It's really fucking creepy, isn't it? It's sort of like a Patrick Bateman kind of dash, isn't it? Can you like get a still of that? Like we gotta like put that in like the. I want to like actually get a screen cap of that shit. That is like some legitimately predatory. Like I'm not gonna bash your head in with a baseball bat. I'm gonna like smash your head with a frying pan when you're not looking. You know, that's the type that right there. That needs to be a distributed as fucking thumbnail or one of those arts. Like you know how he has like art or whatever of like Vosh, and it's like Vosh looking like, oh my god, like he has like that one look. You know what I'm talking about? How he that right there needs to be put right next to I think the daughter of the mayor of like Boston or whatever, or what's it Boston's mayor? Was it Lori Lightfoot? I believe.
Chicago or was it?
I think it was the Chicago mayor or the New Jersey mayor, one of these Democrat elected cities out there. One of these big cities, right? They had the mayor of I think the Chicago, and the daughter looks as crazy as. Oh, thank you, Luke. The daughter looks just as crazy as you think she'd look. But I'll find it here. Keep playing it, Luke.
We'll convert your children. Happens bit by bit, quietly and subtly, and you will barely notice it. You can keep them from disco, warn about San Francisco, make him wear pleated pants, we don't care. We'll convert your children. We'll make them tolerant and fair.
At first I didn't get why you'd be so scared of us turning your children into accepting, caring people, but I see now why you'd have a problem with that.
Sophistry.
Oh,
that is some grade A passive aggression right there, man.
Oh.
That is like, why are you being such a bigot? I swear it. Again, this makes you think that it's a fucking troll, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like this is legitimately like, oh, this must be a troll.
If that's
it has to
why
be a troll.
why did they take it down? Because I figured the leftists would all say, "Oh yeah, those pea-brain conservatives are such bigots." Like, why did they take it down?
They probably took it down because it kind of is a little bit too on the money, to be honest. I mean, but listen, like I guess they understood that the rhetoric and the public perception of things really just, you know, I don't know, it just did, you know, it just is. It's too good to be fucking true, almost. If that makes any sense.
It's like you worried they'll change their group of friends. You won't approve of where they go at night to protest. Oh, and you'll be disgusted when they start finding things online that you've kept far from their sight. Like information. Guess what?
Information, it could be false. Just ask Dr. Fauci.
And there's some things that you probably want to expose them to that we'd rather you not expose anyone to.
Jeez. We are having poor stream quality issues, by the way, Luke. I don't know what's going on there.
What's that?
We're having poor streaming quality issues right now.
Like probably my terrible connection, but we'll see.
Well, we'll figure it out. Keep going.
You'll still be alright. We'll convert your children, yes we will.
Reaching one and all, there's really no escaping it.
Cause even grandma likes RuPaul.
Oh, if like Sargon and the Lotus Ears actually point out the fact that support for the queer or LGBT is on the decline. And it's like maybe it's from things like this.
Yeah, so, but by the way, same fucking vibes, Luke. Look at that. Can you put the two up and compare, contrast them?
Which one's the?
This one I sent you and the one that we just made.
Compare
and contrast.
What is this?
That
is that Lightfoot's child?
That is the mayor's daughter. That's the mayor's daughter of what's it? New York City Mayor of Bill De Blasio's daughter was arrested at a protest. Here is her mugshot.
That's her mugshot.
So you can put that out. Yep, that's her. Yeah. So when you hear we'll convert your children, that's who the weir is. I guess they sexually identify as we. I guess. There we go. I kind of want to like do like a metal version, like a demonic, like, you know, chaos version of that shit. Like, we convert your children if we eat the microphone. No, like legitimately, it's so fucking creepy when you put these two side by side. And of course, this guy looks like a squinting little imp. I kind of want to make him. He looks like a goblin. Look at the guy, right? The guy in the fucking black and white shirt, not the guy. Why the? By the way, I just want to let you know. This whole, you know, God, I'm sorry. I don't know if I'm gay or not. Maybe it's the Californian in me, I guess. But be that as it may. Seriously, this guy's gay and he's wearing fucking was it called that type of clothing? Vinyl. Why is he wearing vinyl? Or plaid? Why is he wearing plaid? Yeah, why is he wearing that? Is that something that like lumberjacks wear? Maybe that's the type of person he is. Oh, keep going. I'll stop.
And the world's getting kinder. Gen Z's gayer than Grinder.
Learn to love, learn to vogue, face your fate. We'll convert your children. Someone's gotta teach them not to hate.
I find it so adorable that they think that we hate them. Look, I don't have the time or energy to hate you the way you hate me, so get over yourself.
Well, again, here's the problem with these people. It's not even hate. Honestly, I kind of feel like they're vampires in their way they carry themselves in the world, and I'll explain the reason why. A vampire has to survive off the sustenance of somebody else, right? These people, you know, they need someone to validate them. They need somebody out there in the ether of reality to fucking validate their existence. I mean, isn't that what they always tell us? Please, if you don't call someone by their pronouns, you're gonna validate. Yeah. You're invalidating their existence, bro.
Yeah,
right.
It's like that old phrase, like when people say they don't care about what you think, it's usually because they really care about what you think.
Yeah, exactly. Again, it's I don't know. It just is. I guess it's California. I guess. Keep playing.
San Francisco.
It's San Francisco. It's the heart of darkness itself. I mean, I was thinking about it. You know, I kind of come from the Eye of Terror, don't I? I mean, we have the Eye of Terror would be fucking what the hell is it called? Portland, I guess it'd be Seattle and Portland, Washington and Oregon, right? I don't know. I'll figure out the cosmology later. Keep playing.
We're coming for them.
We're coming for your children.
We're coming for them.
Okay, this is officially creepy.
Yeah, it is. It really is. But, you know, going on to continuing with the whole gay thing and the whole, like, constant need for external validation, these motherfuckers, like, all they talk about is being gay. That's all they talk about. And again, I have nothing wrong with gay people. I really don't. I mean, yes, I'm a Christian. Yes, I'm a Catholic. It is a sin, along with a lot of other things that are sinful. You know, again, I guarantee you that the sexual sin of jacking off, let's say, is probably in the same category of homosexuality, simply because it's sex without procreation. And at the same time,
old standbys, fornication, adultery, and incest, bestiality, and all those other wonderful things.
Exactly. Stuff that has nothing to do with procreation is a sin in that category. Granted, I'm not sure if there's like a spectrum in the sense of that. For example, giving into temptation because you want to fuck a guy versus giving into temptation because you saw that hot redhead and you wanted to use your hand next night or whatever. But keep playing it, Luke.
Although the only distinction is that homosexuality is the one action that's deemed as an abomination, which it is on many other metrics other than the Bible.
Alrighty. Well, hey, Holy Mystic. Oh, yeah, surprise stream. We didn't do it on Saturday, or not Saturday, so Sunday, because 4th of July, right? America, fuck yeah, right?
Your children will care about fairness and justice for others. Your children will work to convert all their sisters and brothers. Then soon we're almost certain your kids will start converting.
Okay, I think I got it. I think I know exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to do an arts and craft project later tonight, and I'll probably re-upload it when it's done. But basically, like, I kind of want to do like a warped version of this, like, and slow, like, show the degeneracy and more to the point where we're like in the bowels of Slanesh's fucking lair, right? Because like you'll show like people like Milo who wear suits and ties, and then you'll slowly slow more and more and more and more depraved stuff to the point where like we're seeing, you know, demons of Slanesh and shit like that. Like honestly, I think that would be very interesting to show. The singing feels very it does, doesn't it? And that's why they probably took it down, because it sounds like fucking propaganda. It really does. But, you know, again, we have to remember, these people who are obsessed about their own identity, this type of shit, like, again, nobody needed to know that you were gay. No one cared. You know, again, as a rogue, as somebody who lives lives by the sword and dies by the sword, somebody who goes for adventure, high fantasy and whatnot, right? Someone who goes on side quests a lot. I don't really care about my party members, you know, doing what they need to do in their own spare time. I don't really care. You know, but it's just
like my kid isn't a sheep like theirs. You did this to my child, but do these guys have children?
do these people? I don't think they can. I don't think they have kids. And I'll be honest with you. I think that there's a deep desire that's kind of corrupted in a lot of ways. The desire of self-actualization. In fact, the problem is there is no them. There is no gay person. They don't, like, something happened in their formative years for them to be obsessed about their identity in a lot of ways. And I guess this sort of brings me to this brings to me something else I watched earlier. I sent this to you, Luke. Give me 1 second. I'll send it to you again.
Yeah, we'll convert your children to tolerance. It's just like that South Park episode where they visit the Holocaust Museum, or the Museum of Tolerance, and they're like a black and white version of a concentration camp. You will love everybody. You will hold hands like the rainbow. You will be very tolerant.
Yeah, again, it is. It has a very same sort of like Maoist youth type of choir to it. It's very, very, very disturbing, I would say. But any case, I sent you this, Luke. This is actually something I was watching. This is kind of what I would imagine the SJW goes on in its head. The mind of an SJ, the mind of these depraved people. No, you play it. Just play it. Yeah, this is from the evangelicals. Keep playing it.
Evangelion or
the good news. Keep playing the new good news.
What is it that you want? You're very insecure, aren't you?
To become secure, I have to have value. I want to be worth something. I want to be worth enough to attract the attention of others.
But your value is something you have to find for yourself. You have to find it, Shinji.
I have no value without it.
My life is worthless without it.
Then what am I? What am I?
A demi-queer, whatever the fuck it's called. Demi-queer drag princess story hour queen who identifies as a helicopter but pilots a mech.
Doesn't he?
No, seriously.
Doesn't he have the Oedipus complex too?
You know, everybody has a fucking complex. The point is, no, I don't really worry about it so much.
Shinji specifically, doesn't he have a Oedipus complex?
I don't fucking, dude.
I know that's like I thought that was a recurring joke about how the father hates him because the mother loves him more. I forget.
No, like I've heard that the guy had autism. Like there were like legitimate like arguments of him being autistic or antisocial or some shit, and they're actually being entertained. I mean, people didn't know what the fuck was going on in this anime. You know, actually, this might be interesting. I want to, like, if I ever encounter Peterson again, I might give him Neon Genesis Evangelion just to fuck with him and see how he's gonna react. I mean, that'd probably be the best troll ever, actually, for someone like myself. Like, imagine him being so pissed off saying, he's a white supremacist. I'm like, what? I want your ideas on this, on Neon Genesis Evangelion. What's wrong with you? Don't you understand what it is? And he actually tries to go into it, and he starts, like, inflating the fucking fan base of Evangelion, like, or he actually explains it. You imagine that shit? Again, I've never seen Neon Genesis Evangelion, and yes, Luke, we will watch it at some point. Yeah, because I never seen it.
What a depressing series. I've never seen it in my life. What a depressing series and depressing movie.
I have never seen that fucking film. I don't know if I'm gonna want to watch it after what you just described it as, but I kind of want to now. But we will watch it. We might do like a classic anime theater at some point. Again, I just have fun with whatever I find. I mean, that's really ultimately what this is a clip show, and sometimes we have 2-parters episodes or a series arc. Let's say we go through different arcs. That's how this will be. And how you plan it.
This is me. This is the shape that lets others recognize me as myself. It is my.
And this is one of the reasons I'm so dismissive of anime. It's just so pedantic and pretentious in too many ways. Like a lot of anime is pretentious.
Yeah, it really is. Like this shit. I mean, again, just mute it if you want to. You can just mute it if you want. Because honestly, this type of anime, I could really hear an SJW talk from Shinji. I mean, if you really think about it, Shinji is kind of like an SJW, right? I mean, if you think about it, not just in like terms of like their attitude and their behavior type, well, you could very well argue the SJW is like Shinji in the sense they have to save the world. Keep in mind, if you go by the Strauss-Howell generational plot railroad, right? The millennials are going to be the GI generation, the hero generation, right? So get in the robot, Shinji, or whatever the fuck you call yourself, or get in the robot, Jordan. Get in the robot, Luke, because we're going to have to go fight the communists and the Russians, and I think the Russians may have been possessed by chaos. I don't know. We'll talk about that in a little bit later. Continue, Luke.
Nobody understands me!
Oh, perfect. Nobody understands.
What are you fucking... Nobody understands me. Burger King, Ashley. You too deep for you. Indeed, it absolutely is too deep for me, Burger King. Absolutely. It is far too deep for someone like myself. Again, the only time I've ever heard of the first time I actually heard of the Unjust Evangelion was in fucking high school, of all things. No joke. I was around a lot of otakus, and I'll tell you, as some going into the not to go too deep into my own past, but when the SJW started to come to bear fruit, by the way, the SJW they started bearing fruit in high school. So a lot of the shit we were doing, something turned on, and I'd say 2008, 2007, 2006, something turned on. A lot of people say the internet died in 2007 because of the birth of the iPhone. Well, I really do think that something happened in 2006 or something along those lines. Like something happened then that turned all the world upside down for whatever reason. Keep playing, Luke.
Continues to flow, and time brings change. Your world is in a state of constant change. You're capable of change anytime your mind perceives these changes.
What is this? A world of nothing? A world with nobody in it?
This is the world of perfect freedom.
Freedom?
Perfect freedom. A world in which you have no restriction.
Is this really freedom?
Yes, this is what it is. However, this world has nothing in it.
Unless I do something?
Right. Unless you do or think of something.
But
make his hair pink.
Do or think of.
Make his hair pink. Make his hair pink. Make him dress in a tutu. Like again, the shit that they're talking about, the level of hyper individuality shit that they're espousing. Ontologically, it's correct. It is. I mean, there is no one else like Luke in the world. There is only one Luke. There is only one, Reggie. There is only one Shinji. No one else in the yes. Me and Luke may have similar blood types. Me and Luke may very well be related, so on and so forth down generations. Of course, everyone's a cousin of somebody else's cousin at some point, right? You may be considered the same race, color, creed, even, but there's only one Luke. There's only one Arini. Keep playing.
This is a world in which you can do anything you wish.
And yet, you are still afraid, aren't you?
Don't you know what it is that you want to do?
What should I do?
Let me give you a restriction.
There. Now you have a top and bottom.
But you have lost a degree of your freedom. You may no longer fly. You must stand upon the earth.
But now you feel easier, don't you?
He can lay on the earth. He can lay on the earth. He could lay on the earth. I mean, he could sit on the earth. He could break dance on the earth. That'd be kind of cool. Or jack off on the earth. But be that as it may, keep going.
And now you can walk.
This is happening because you will it to be.
Is this my will?
This world, but the floor is the only thing around yourself.
But now you can move around anywhere you wish to within it.
You could even turn the world upside down if you wanted to do that.
And your perspective within your world is constantly changing.
Oh, fuck. Gnosticism. Ow. Gnosticism. Ow. Ow, that hurts. Ow. No, legitimately, Gnosticism is cancer. It's led to shit like the Muslim Brotherhood and Islam in general. But yeah, like this is like some heresy right here. This is some weapons grade heresy. I don't know who. I'll just say game's done. Game's done. I need to play Saga again. I've beaten Gears, but I have not beaten and all the Blade games. I have not played those games. Oh, is that Xenosaga on PS2? I have never played Xenosaga. I've never played Xenosaga. I've never played any of that shit. But I will definitely like to play it. Although it is a RPG, so I probably won't be able to get to it. Play it, Luke.
Only myself? Without others to interact with, you cannot truly recognize your own image.
My own image?
That's right. In the act of observing others, you may find and recognize yourself.
Your self-image is restrained by having to observe the barriers between yourself and others.
And yet,
Straight and gay. Straight. No, seriously, that's what that is. Like the gay is always defined by the other, especially the ones who are obsessed with identity. They have to be, again, the gays who are, obsessed with their identity, they're like Shinji in a lot of ways. They really, really are. They have this obsession with somebody trying to validate them. Why aren't you angry at me? Why aren't you tolerating me? Keep playing, Luke. I actually got an idea.
I'm really sure that the perceptions of others form my true self?
It's true. Shinji Mikari.
It's taken you this long to realize that? What an idiot!
I think is the Frau Aska, isn't she like German or something? Yeah, she's German. So it's funny how the fucking red-pilled Aryan girl is dropping fucking red pills, or the red-haired Aryan girl is dropping red pills on the fucking existential, angsty fucking Japanese boy, who may or may not be a metaphor for autism or mental illness or just humanity in general, which that should scare the fuck out of you. But yeah,
which probably explains why they're used in why she's used in this particular song. Have you heard the song Schadenfreude?
No, I have not.
Well, basically, it has her looking at Shinji and Joe going, the lyrics go, right now you are down out and feeling really crappy, and when I see you standing there, it sort of makes me happy. Sorry, Nikki, human nature, nothing I can do. It's Schadenfreude, making me feel glad that I'm not you.
Oh, criminy. No, but like that's really interesting in the sense that, because I've suffered with my own identity crisis in this last few weeks or so. One of the things that I've had real trouble with is, I would say the whole issue of the gun control. People have talked about I've talked last time about trying to get the hell out of California, specifically because because of the gun control, the constant violence and shit like that. And at the same time, the constant, pushing for gun control within the city of San Jose, which, again, I'm against that shit, because eventually they're going to go after everybody. They're going to go after everybody eventually. That means that once, San Jose falls, eventually Campbell will fall within that time period. And then eventually, from there, they'll go to Santa Clara, then Sunnyvale, then all over the place. And then eventually it'll go all around the world, all around the West Coast, and then everywhere. So we have to stop it. Now, like I said before, and not to go too deep into this, but because I always talk about saving the West being a side quest, the thing that I noticed is that in a lot of ways, I'm kind of responsible. I feel responsible for the SJW. I feel as though I have to be the caretaker of their memory, because a lot of ways, these assholes fucked me in high school, these fucking SJWs, because that's, again, like I said, they came about in high school. They came out of the ether in that time. And again, given the time and the place, the birth of these people, the birth of their ideology is kind of my fault. I mean, in a lot of ways, I enabled it in a lot of ways. And I feel as though it's my responsibility unto the society, as well as, not just the society, but my hometown, to fight these bastards tooth and nail. Maybe for the rest of my life, even. Because I just, even when I escape, let's say, the SJW hellhole, things just don't feel right. Like when I went to Arizona to shoot up the place. Not literally, but I actually went over and I shot some guns over there for America. I also met you, Luke, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and be that as it may, by the way, Luke has a bag of holding, everyone. Again, I don't know where he got it, but he got a bag of holding now, which is really badass. No, but in all honesty, I don't feel like I could blend in and adapt into Arizonan life. Not necessarily in the sense of Politically, of course, again, gun rights, absolutely love it. Went to a freaking, a flea market. They were selling fucking guns at the flea market. They were selling fucking ammunition at the fucking flea market. Literally, they had like little dime bags of fucking 22 LR ammunition. It was really fucking interesting. Like honestly, I actually felt kind of, like I was in a bazaar, like it was legitimately a badass fucking place. Now, granted, the heat wasn't that bad for me. I mean, I could very well walk through heat. It doesn't really matter. In fact, Luke and I took a good long walk. It was pretty awesome, honestly. But in all honesty, again, I don't think I could ever leave California. I don't think I can. It's always going to be my home. I'm going to die here, I think. I think I will. And it's not to get too liberal or existential on you, but I feel this is the task that has been pushed to me. I have to do it, In a lot of ways, I'm known here. I know how the SJW think. I was very close to them and one of them, and I wouldn't even say one of them, but given my circumstance, I could have become one of them. But I didn't for a lot of reasons. Maybe they're not like me, but I'm sure I understand them. It's very similar to how Milo Yiannopoulos talks about how he understands the SJW, but he's not one of them. Which brings me to the whole Roosh conversation. Remember that shit, Luke?
I never saw it.
Oh yeah, you never saw the Roosh's conversation with Milo?
I did not see it yet.
I want to watch that. Do you want to watch that with me? Let's watch that. It'll be interesting. I want to get a good idea because from what I heard, Brother John, he found out he had some very interesting takes on it because he's saying that Milo has basically taken over and become king of the pimps, and he's calling out. He's called out game. And for what it is, game is basically turning people into. You're allowing damaged women to procreate, and you're basically creating an entire society of kids that are never going to have fathers with game, and that's going to be because the mothers who never should have had kids and never would, let's be frank, if you stayed away from them and didn't play a game, they wouldn't have gotten laid, they wouldn't have gotten knocked up, and those kids would have been born. You want to talk about people who are going to have a decline in society. If those kids actually give birth, which Lord knows they may not, but these women will probably use birth control as a weapon in the legal system, not to go the whole MGTOW route, but some of them will. I personally think a lot of MGTOW's problems are systemic, not necessarily what women would do in the real world. Women won't do that, specifically because they're not as smart as you think they are. Anyhow, keep playing.
Thing giver of life, come and dwell in us and cleanse us of all impurity and save our souls. Oh, good one. Okay, good. And the prayer's over. There was an echo from Milo. I think I fixed it, so the echo should be gone.
Okay. Habits become character.
Oh no!
Learning to be doing it, and I'm a dramatically, radically happier person, more in touch with God, more. I feel more physically relaxed.
Is this like? I was gonna say if he's editing that shit, that was really weird.
Well, yeah, but Roosh is trying to align his camera because I guess there was some sort of glitch.
I don't know. Roosh kind of reminds me of just like a really creepy kebab with he has that fucking hair. Now again, I still have Roosh's masterwork Bang. I haven't read it yet, but I kind of want to read it at this point. Simply to understand how Roosh and the game works. Because a lot of this shit, again, what's up?
Yeah, I've read it. It's not advice for me, honestly.
Well, yeah, again, it's kind of sociopathic, isn't it? It's it
makes sense if you want to, just, it's game. You want to get a girl with little to no commitment. I mean, you could get a girl with commitment, that's your goal, but the approach just isn't, it's all identical. It's just, I don't know if I can do that sort of thing. There's a certain level of dishonesty in it, which I can't really abide.
Yeah, that's exactly how I think. And to be honest with you, game, I'll just say, is kind of satanic in a lot of ways. I mean, I talked about it before with Arini. I've talked about it with Forney as well, that there was a book by LaVey called The Satanic Witch, right? And it's basically a manual of game, but it's for women. And it was released, I believe, in the 1960s and 70s, when the height of the feminist movement, before everyone knew what was going on. So I kind of want to compare and contrast those two at some point. There's actually another book. It wasn't written by LaVey. It was one of another Satanists out there who tried to cash in on that whole game theory. I don't know his I don't know his name, but I have his book at the same time. I've been trying to get a hold of it, but I really just put it down and said, it's not for me, right? But at the same time, we have to remember people like, not Jack Murphy, what the fuck is his name? Jack Donovan. Yeah, Jack Donovan. He ex-Satanist, we know that. So, a lot of this, a lot of these ideologies, a lot of these pushes for men and women to be whores and to give in to their baser instincts, a lot of them usually have some connection to some pagan or heathen religion or something that is anti-American in the cultural sense, but also anti-American in the value sense. Keep that in mind. But yeah, let's see what Milo has to say. Let's continue with just play the audio.
Me blowing open the fire doors half a decade ago, and that will haunt me until the day I die.
It's your fault.
It is. It is my fault. The Republican Party would not be embracing a tranny had it not been for Marlionopolis in 2015-16. It just wouldn't be happening. At least not for another 20 years. So that will haunt me until the day I die. And my job over the next 20 years is to undo some of that damage and hopefully bring some of these people all the way back. So that's the business I'm embarked on, and that's the primary focus of Room 2 is to.
Well, that's good. That is good. And to be honest with you, let me just say this: there were log cabin Republicans before you, sweetheart. Again, they didn't give a shit about gays so much until and this is where Charlie Kirk really scares me, because a lot of people. Even my fucking dad likes Charlie Kirk. Keep that in mind. I call him Cockroach Charlie for a reason, because he's skitters from one talk point, skitters to the next. Plus, he looks like a fucking cockroach. But Cockroach Charlie, one of the things he panders so much to is the gay lobby. Because now, and this is the thing that really is telling about the Republicans in general. Yeah, we're going to bash Republicans right now for 5 minutes, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, we went after the gays, now we go after the Republicans. There's no corollary there, but they're usually considered in the cultural norm to be people of the counterculture. So we're going to go after them for a bit. The Republicans, I've noticed, are one of the few, they're basically becoming the Democrats, like from 10 years ago. They are. They're pandering to certain, demographics, certain age groups. They're pandering to people who of certain intent. And at the same fucking time, they're playing identity politics. I mean, look at fucking Candace Owen. Tell me she's not here because of her intelligence. She's here because of her fucking minority status. The shit that she says is so hilarious. Like, every now and again, I don't follow her that much on Twitter, but at the same fucking time, every so now and then, she'll say something incredibly stupid, like, oh, if Hitler just stayed in Germany, I would have no problem with Hitler. Or we need to start going after people who burn the flag and swap their citizenship status with an alien or an immigrant. That way, so-and-so, people who don't love their country, they don't respect the flag, it's not free speech and all this other shit. She says stupid fucking crap like that. And they just tolerate it. Why? Because let's be frank, people play identity politics regardless. This is the cultural norm. And, the easiest way to stop playing identity politics is not to talk about it. But the problem with identity politics, and just like the problem with fascism, is the more you talk about it, the more you start seeing it everywhere. It's the definition of insanity. Doing the same shit over and over again. And again, that's why, I reject, again, pro-free speech all the way. We're going to try to get Caitlin Borosinko on here, and coming up this Saturday or next Saturday, what have you. She's booked right now, but we're going to try to get her on, because I want her to talk about the whole critical race theory thing, although I think that shit has died down, so we're kind of kicking a dead horse at this point. Although I could be wrong. I haven't been paying attention. But anyway, I'll keep playing it, Luke. What has he been saying?
Your mention about going back to a carnal desire is reminding me of this little clip.
Well, what would you say?
In a sense, they would be right. It is a form of self-worship.
We feel that there's no reason why these people shouldn't just flip the coin completely over and simply call themselves what religion has called them for many, many years. Call them devil worshippers, or disciples of evil, or Satanists. Of course, it's very hard for a person to hang an uncomplimentary label on themselves. And for this reason, for many years...
Okay. You want to play that game, little man? We can play that game all fucking day. You're chaos. There's a reason why we called him the God Emperor. There's a reason why. No, seriously. Maybe in the 2020s there is no peace, only war. And again, don't quote me on that. But legitimately, we have fucking the God Emperor Trump. Pull up God Emperor Trump, please, Luke.
For what?
The God Emperor Trump. Just play up a picture of the God Emperor Trump. You can pull that up. Yeah, just go with me, ladies and gentlemen. It'll all be fun. This will be there. You go. There's God Emperor Trump, right? And now look up. Was it the Eurasian Economic Union flag or Eurasian Youth Party flag?
All right.
There you go.
Eurasian Youth Party flag.
Yep. Got that shit in. Yeah, exactly. You know, Gameston, you get that shit. That's what these are. And then we have Peterson showing up, basically trying to play Elric Imelda Monet on our fucking games. No, seriously, that's what he is. He's a Michael Moorcock ripoff. That's fucking weird shit. See this fucking Yes. Again, and it's funny because, I don't know if it's, me just being a fucking Imperial Guard, because I don't think I'm a fucking Space Marine of any kind. I definitely think I'm a fucking, probably fucking Imperial Guard or some shit like that. Maybe Demon Hunters, given my topic I talk about all the time, but or the subject matter we're talking about. But these people are fucking chaos. They are aligned chaos. They are the fucking, the fucking the Church of Satan, if you want to call them, the fucking Order of the Nine Angles, the fucking Adam Vothin. Which again, a lot of these characters sound like fucking Michael Moorcock or Warhammer 40K villains. They do. And then, of course, we have the God Emperor, and then, of course, we start having the Primarchs, right? We have the Primarchs, which are like the fucking, it's getting a little bit weirder here now. Like, we have the Primarchs, like the golden one, which, just to be frank, I think, I'll just say it, Fulgrim, what the fuck are you doing? Like, he's like Fulgrim or like the Space Wolves guy, right? Honestly, like, we're getting to the point where life imitates art so goddamn hard, you might as well just use a video game to try to gamify life. It really is weird, Look at that. Yeah, that's Peterson right there. We got to put Peterson right. We got to put his fucking name right, or his head right over there. Well, why not? He serves chaos, and he keeps trying to bring balance to the Force and all that shit. Seriously.
He's Elric of Eldonay is a creature of chaos trying to fight for the Order.
Yeah.
But of course, Michael Moorcock would take a lot more interesting turn because he created the whole chaos and order dynamic to rebel against the whole over goodness of like Tolkien and C.S. Lewis. And so they trying to create the inner dynamics of there's such a thing as too much chaos will destroy everything, but when things are preserved in order, people use order to justify their evil ways.
Yep. Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, it's really weird. I mean, I don't have I have a talking sword in the form of John Steele, but I don't have like an actual chaos sword. I don't have one yet. I might find one, given all the shit that's going on in the world. But I don't know. I don't know. If I ever meet Dugan, I'll ask him. Do you have a sword of chaos with you? Do you have a sword that you drink souls with you? Like, legitimately? Like, I'm gonna do it. But no, like, you'll go back to the whole Milo-Yiannopoulos thing. I want to continue hearing him because he's not wrong. Again, like the Republican, going back to the whole, not without the tangent, he's not wrong. The Republicans would never be recruiting and pandering to the gays and playing identity politics, by the way, which, by the way, again, this is like, I don't know. I mean, how would you'd have to fucking, categorize people. You'd have to do it, right? You can't just say the people. That doesn't make any sense. The rich, the poor, the white working class, the black working class, the working class in general, the fucking, the bankers. Like, again, how else could you, govern the society without putting people in categories? I mean, identity politics it has existed, I'd probably say, since the Civil War, I'd imagine. When we had the North and the South, we had the slave owners and we had the blacks. I mean, identity politics really did come out of the Civil War. It was like the birth of the new nation. The rebirth of the nation was a nation of nations, a state of nations, I should say, where we had tribes. Now, granted, the tribes have always existed. I've always said, I think I was talking to you about this at one point. But you pause it. Just pause it for a second. Pause it. Just pause the whole Milo-Yiannopoulos thing. We've become a nation. We've become a nation of nations, to so to speak, and at the same time, well, we already were multicultural to begin with. I mean, the Catholics coming over here is a big fucking deal. They really are. I mean, all the nationalists and the American Firsters don't realize that, the Catholic Church would not be welcome here by the original founding fathers and the majority of the Protestants in this country. They would not want them because they saw the Catholic Church as an invading force, but also, they were loyal to the Pope. They were loyalists to the Pope. So, it's sort of like how the libertarians don't want the conservatives, right? Well, a lot of Americans are inherently libertarian. They inherently lean towards chaos, right? But in all honesty, it really does feel. Which, by the way, Luke, what the fuck is that? Why did you put the stop right there, Luke? Look at that fucking face. You need to screen cap that, Luke. Why? Like, legitimately, that is the perfect reaction of Milo. That's like him. That's him finding God and in front of the priest on his knees. That's kind of fucked up. No, but in all honesty, we were always a nation. We always were a nation. We always will be a nation of nations until we all come together as Americans, nothing more. But that can never happen. We're too diverse as a nation, whether it be simply at face value, white, black, purple, orange, tribal values such as Anglican, Christian, or what have you. We need to have like one culture, one people. The question is who makes the cut and who doesn't. That's really ultimately that's the only question. Who gets to be part of the American tribe and who doesn't? Who gets to be part of the American Legion and who doesn't? That's ultimately what it is. What did you have, Luke? Play it.
They failed to strip you of emotion. You were meant to slay monsters without making judgments, philosophizing, or nursing doubts. You're ineffective.
Well, this ineffective, doubt-ridden historical freak is about to kill you.
So yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah. Wait a second. Could play that again? I kind of. Is this like? Is he talking about Peterson?
No, The Witcher plagiarism.
Oh well, I thought I was talking about Peterson for a second. Play it one more time.
You owe your existence to the conjunction of spheres, but your creators erred. Know how?
Enlighten me.
They failed to strip you of emotion. You were meant to slay monsters without making judgments, philosophizing, or nursing doubts. You're ineffective.
Well, this ineffective, doubt-ridden historical freak is about to kill you.
So yeah.
I was gonna say, nah, it's not Peterson. Peterson ain't the fucking eternal champion. No, well, even then, again, yeah, Peterson is not the eternal champion. No matter how much he rambles on chaos and order and all the other shit that he played with his D&D buddies back in fucking college, where they were high as fuck, probably. Continue, Luke.
I mean,
especially.
Oh, come on.
Especially.
The end point of what I'm saying is we should disband the family first think tanks that are fighting Planned Parenthood. That's what I'm saying.
No,
God will take care of that. Like, you're crazy. You're crazy.
That's not
I have a
what I'm saying.
responsibility to fix some of the problems that I created. Because they're on my conscience and they're on
But it
my.
shouldn't cost your soul, is what I'm saying. It shouldn't cost your soul or even one sin. It shouldn't cost one sin for you to save the world as you see it. But that actually.
I think you are mischaracterizing my position, like I'm talking about myself like I'm Superman or something. I'm not meaning to say that. But I feel a compulsion, an irresistible compulsion to undo some of the damage that I have done and to
which I do
call out evil when I see it and to prevent evil when I'm able to prevent it.
You can't.
Provided that it
you can't prevent evil. But I agree with you. I want to undo the damage I've done too. And the way I do that is share the faith. I share my faith as I experience it.
It's not enough.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Because if you share the faith, people are going to join the church. And when people join the church, they are saved. But that's it. I like to read.
Milo's a man on a mission, and Roosh is just a comfortable evangelist right now.
Well, order and chaos are on the fucking screen right now. We have the guy who looks like somebody who would probably sing like. Let's be frank. Can you get Roosh? Like Roosh, put Roosh's head, I think, on Raffi. Remember Raffi, the fucking the little kids guy, Baby Beluga, right? That's what he kind of looks like. He kind of looks like with the background. He looks like somebody who would be like singing, kids songs to kids on a fucking acoustic guitar. He really does. And then you got fucking chaos on the right hand, right? Or in this case, Milo, who's kind of, just, laid back, has fucking tattoos. Doesn't have tattoos. He has piercings, and he's kind of he bathed in blood at one point, right? That's the type of guy you're dealing with. And yes, Milo did bathe in blood. I don't know the context. Pig's blood. There you go. it really is fucking Raffi, and I don't know. We'll figure out who the hell you are in a little bit. We'll figure that. Actually, no, it can't be Raffi. Raffi would be, that's the guy from China Uncensored. Anyhow, keep going, Luke. Keep playing. I want to continue.
When I'm retreated into a kind of quasi-monastic mode, I find it.
I publish 2 articles a week. I just wrote a book. I am producing more work than I ever have. But that's it.
The problem you have is you're aiming for some kind of arbitrary and illusory spiritual perfection before you feel able to do anything at all, and before you realize
I'm acting, but I'm not committing. Well, as far as I know, I'm not inciting anger and pride. Okay, can I read now? I would like to read from a Greek saint.
I'm trying to hold a mirror up to people who are in places like I was in. I have a moral responsibility to do that. No one will ever persuade me otherwise. I know that I am required to do this. I know that we're here to do this. You seem to be saying you seem to be saying all the heroic acts of saints, all of the good deeds of people on earth who are working hard every day, raising money and
whoa.
What?
This is kind of it's kind of reminiscent of that whole well, it's really reminiscent of, well, I don't know. It's reminiscent of that whole yep, that's me. You're probably wondering how I got to this situation. Like, it really does. Like, how did they get to this point? I know we skipped ahead a bit, but like, what's the context for this? Like, I'm looking at this from like for the first time, and I've talked a lot, and I've skipped around a bit, but it kind of feels like Milo is like things have flipped in a lot of ways. Like I've seen this before with, the church just keeps trying to say, the God will save me, God will save me, God will save me. And they use it as a crutch. There's a lot of antinomian Christians out there who don't care about what you do. And, to be honest with you, it's not wrong. He's not wrong about this. He is dead. At this point, he's trying to use Christianity as a crutch. He's trying to, he's not going to follow God. He's not. And at the same time, well, I don't know. Let's I don't know. I'd probably say Roosh. Like, Roosh to me, it's always like finding, like, I've oftentimes talked about the trad waifu retirement plan, or the trad wife retirement plan, which is basically the notion of, I fucked around in my 20s, and now that I'm turning 30, I'm now traditional. I think a lot of this cuts both ways. I think we're just seeing it now from, a guy who probably would sing Baby Beluga to some kid.
Of course, it's important to remember that not everyone followed that pathway, but a sizable number did. And it's like we're watching these section of people going through these phases in their lives.
Well, I hate to say it, but, at the end of the day, the internet has kind of become sort of like a neighborhood, isn't it? I mean, would any of this happen without the internets, I guess is what I'm trying to get across, because they're putting on a show for everybody. Whether you think that, Milo is the good guy, or, Peterson or Nathan Peterson, Milo is the good guy and Roosh is the bad guy, or the deceitful one here. Let's actually examine what we know about these people in general and find out and just listen to what they have to say. Let's assume that we all know what's what. We all know we have perfect knowledge in this regard, or knowledge within the commons, and let's examine it. Go on, Luke.
No, you can't.
I can.
God does it. No, you have no power. God prevents it. Okay, if you don't do it, God is going to raise someone else up to do what needs to be done. He doesn't need you to do anything except save your soul for now. Then once it's saved,
why would anybody do anything? Why are their family?
You're too spiritually immature. We are spiritually immature. We are sensitive to falling back.
Everybody on the planet.
No, especially us. Especially us.
Oh, come on. The end point of what I'm saying is we should disband the family first think tanks that are fighting Planned Parenthood. That's what I'm saying. God will take care of that. Like, you're crazy. You're crazy.
That's not.
You're a spiritual baby. So you're spiritual babies.
No,
why
you are strawmanning me, because I'm not trying to defeat evil. I'm sharing my faith and what I've learned in the Orthodox Church. I'm not starting fights with people, except you, apparently.
That's what they teach you. No, I love you, and that's why we can have a spirited debate, and I can hug you afterwards across the screen. But I love you to bits, and you are one person I check in on daily.
Wouldn't it be funny if? Okay, I know that I know I oftentimes don't bash. We don't really bash Orpha Bros, but every Orpha Bro I've fucking seen has had some connection to Dugan at some point. We have Jay Dyer, who, again, the stuff that he says about Dugan's ideology in the books he talks about, it's kind of a little bit concerning, especially when you look at Dugan and realize he's one of these traditionalist weirdos who think that, it's traditional globalism. There's a tradition for globalism, so to speak. But again, I wouldn't be surprised if this whole Orpha Bro shit that he's pulling is just an example to try to get men to check out society in a similar way that MGTOW did. or men going their own way. I wouldn't be surprised, because a lot of this is just do nothing, do nothing, do nothing, do nothing. Sit down, share, use your words. Don't actually do anything. Don't pursue anything. Because one of the things I noticed, at least when it comes to game, is that game is kind of chaotic. It is chaotic, but at the same time, it may be necessary. I mean, most guys out there, in a very stable society like in the Indian like caste system, most people would have somebody, say, I'll make you wed my daughter. And that way we can ensure like the family line continues or something like that. But in our society, one that doesn't have that, structure, we kind of have to, break the rules to get ahead and get laid, don't we? So, while I do agree with, the Catholic Church and the Orthodox position on these matters of just letting God do it, you have to step up and at some point try to get laid. Or try changing the world. You can't just Zen meditate, and that's sort of what I would say. I perceive this in this particular case. Roosh is doing. He's Zen meditating. He looks like he's found God, and he's just Zenning the fuck out. And I want to look at continue, Luke.
Kind of journey as me, and that's why we can, from a place of love and conviction and a good spirit and mutual respect, affection and good wishes, have a sincere disagreement about what you and I are called to do. And following your logic and your reasoning, you shouldn't even be publishing those 2 things a week. I just think you're wrong.
Okay, I think you. Okay, look, let's move on. Maybe we can come back to that. let me quote a Greek saint, Saint Porphyrios. Saint Porphyrios is a recent Greek saint. I think he was canonized in the 1990s, and he said the following. It is humility to believe that all people are good. And if you hear something negative about someone, not to believe it, to love everyone and not think badly of anyone, and to pray for everyone. End quote. Milo, do you pray for people that you hate? Do you pray for people that wrong you? Okay, do you pray for people that wrong you?
I pray the most
for your enemies.
Pause it. What the fuck are you talking? Do you pray? How can, again, take the log out of your own eye, fucker. Hold yourself to your own standard. There's no way that Milo can prove that. There's no fucking way that Milo can prove that he prays for, Steve Bannon, for instance. I'll let you think of that as you will. There's no fucking way he's going to know that. There's no way he could prove it either. So what the fuck does it matter? Right? There's no fucking way you could prove that, you didn't fucking save or pray for someone or pray for your enemies. There's no way. This is very
question. You don't ask these questions for interviews. You ask these on the one-on-one counseling.
Yeah, this praise in public, criticize in private, and most of the criticism, most of prayer for me at least has been criticism towards myself and to life. I wish I could have a more healthy prayer life in the sense I just talk to God like, what the fuck are you doing there? That's sort of that type of attitude. Hey God, what's that over there? Oh, that's a picture of Call of Duty. Okay, cool, awesome, thank you. That type of like how I'm doing Gary Busey type of shit, not without Gary Busey, okay? But no, seriously, like, I don't know, who was it? What saint was it? Saint Porphyrios or something like that?
I guess so.
I'll look it up later on. But all men are good. Bullshit. We all know that
does not teach that. No.
Christianity does not teach that. Now, unless you're willing to, go into the whole chaotic dichotomy, whatever you want to call it, and even then, I wouldn't go that too far. Again, I brought it up. I'll fully admit that the fucking theme is kind of easy. It's an easy plot railroad to buy into. It's very watchable and replayable. A lot of replayability. For fuck's sake, you have it in D&D. It's a fucking game with infinite possibilities. No, but all honesty, Roosh is becoming very antinomian in this regard. And if I do agree with Porphyrios's or the Greek guy's fucking quote, if you buy into the notion of goodwill, but the problem is, what is good? Humans are sinful. They don't know what good is. So it's irrelevant if they are good or not. Because ontologically speaking, there's much disagreement about what is the good and the virtuous and the true. Continue.
The difference between you and me is you want more than anything else.
Why is this?
Because you're asking questions that follow on from the last one. I think that you want more than anything else to be on Mount Athos. I don't. I want to be in the marketplace with St. Francis. Yes, because you are called upon to do better than that. I want to be down in the marketplace with St. Francis. You want to be in a monastery somewhere all day looking after you. I want to.
You don't have to
people.
insult the monks now. Okay, you can insult me, but let's not insult men who are.
He's insulting you, genius.
Yep. Keep playing.
walking with
I'm not
Christ.
insulting. Oh, come on! I'm not insulting monks.
You can
I'm
insult
not
me.
insulting
You
monks
can
of
put your
any-
anger
I'm
onto
not
me. That's
insulting
fine.
monks of any
I deserve
denomination.
it.
I'm merely being colourful in my expression. Don't be silly.
Well, that's going to
That
get
was
you
silly. I'm
into
just.
trouble.
Did you think or not think that Trump was making fun of disabled people when he did? No, he
That's
was just
fine.
saying stupid. He was
I'm
being
not mad,
colourful. He was
but
using sound and he was using body language. I'm not
You
making
seem-
fun of monks. You sound like a leftist.
You
Stop it.
seem to be ready to criticize the Orthodox Church, but can
No,
you
I'm
wait a
not at
second?
all.
Where'd that come from?
What?
Where did that come from?
I think maybe Roosh is a fucking plant. Maybe he is a Duganist plant. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, let's be frank with ourselves. He had a propensity for fucking Eastern European women. I mean, but then again, who doesn't? I'm just saying. I mean, maybe one little Nikita got to him and said, "Hey, you want to fucking make a couple $100, push these talking points," and then he never knows he's a fucking plant. The son of the bitch literally thinks he's found Zen masterhood or some shit like that. He found Nirvana. Fuck. Anyhow, let me just say this. Let me just say this. Not all enlightenment can be found underneath a tree. I'll just say that. Continue.
And try to defend it as best as I can. But
Let's say I was talking about that. I'm just saying, look, I pray the most for the people I think have wronged me. I pray the most for mothers who have aborted their babies, kids that this guy that I'm currently, going after. I pray for him every day, and I have for weeks, because I want more than anything in the whole world for him to wake up one day and say, "What am I doing?" And to be in his kid's life. Mainly, well, not mainly, but somewhat, because that would mean I don't have to keep paying his child support. But because I really can't afford it. But I pray for the people that do the worst things to me the most, because they're the people who need it the most. The people who I want desperately to wake up and to be bathed in light and to be better.
Okay.
For their sake. People who are nice to me don't need my prayers. I don't pray for I don't pray for people who don't need any help. I pray for the people who need help the most, which is
that's why I
the
wanted to
people
ask.
that I see.
So when you're attacking these other people, I hope that at the same time you pray for their souls as well. That's all.
I'll tell you what I do to answer that question, and I'll be quick, and it is important that I do it. I've always found like performative charity to be really distasteful. I don't even like those meaningless statements. Everyone these days feels like they've got to put out a statement on Memorial Day, like, you work in a shop, what are you doing? Like on their Twitter profiles and everything, on their Twitter feeds. And I always find performative charity extremely distasteful and gross. So very often when I do this, and I'm sure people find it disconcerting, but and maybe they don't receive it sincerely, but when I'm coming for somebody in public, I very often will write to them in private and say, I hate the things you do, but I'm praying for you to realize that you need to be shaken out of what's going on, and nobody else would do it. Now, you would perhaps say, it's not my place to do it. I feel as though I am called to, and that I am required to, and that
I really hope you're not lying, Milo, because what you just did proves you bought. Again, don't play the fucking game, Milo. Seriously, if this guy is a plant, what you just did was you made a falsifiable statement that could be verifiably proven true or false. And if this guy is a plant like I'm fucking talking about, and again, I'm not saying he is, I'm saying that, there's a possibility given the fact that is it Russian Orthodox he follows? Or is it Greek Orthodox?
He hadn't said. I don't know which was which.
Well, I'll find out later on. But if he is a plant for like the Duganists or whatever, you just gave them a hell of a way to actually find out if verify that Milo is or isn't a plant, essentially, or a how should you say it, or not a plant, that Milo isn't lying. That's about what you just said. Keep playing.
All you need to do is make a tiny little effort. The human contribution in all this represents only a millionth of a millionth part, a slight inclination, that is. Take a step in God's direction, and in a split second, divine grace will come. As soon as you think of it, the Holy Spirit will come. You don't do anything. You just move in that direction, and divine grace comes. End quote. So I guess this is a question of when you're dealing with temptation, and that temptation doesn't only have to be a sexual one. It could be anger, gluttony, pride. I have pride problems. How are you dealing with it? Do you kind of try to depend on your own willpower, or do you immediately put your eyes onto Christ, pray to him? I can tell you one thing. In the Orthodox Church, we have the Jesus prayer where we say, Lord Jesus Christ, Son of God, have mercy on me, a sinner. Try to keep our focus on Christ, ask him to help us. Is this something that the Catholic Church also teaches, or is it more of a dependence on the willpower?
No, I think based on the shepherds I've assembled, they would say something very similar. I have trouble with it though, because it feels like it is up to me to summon the strength. And I also have always, I'm still wrestling every day with feelings of not being good enough because of the things that I have done. And I remember in sometimes visceral detail, which I will not turn the stomachs of your viewers by going into, the details of some of the things that I have done in my life, sexual impropriety and whatnot. And I have a hard time sometimes wrapping my head around the idea that I have any right to speak to God at all. And of course, every priest will be like, well, you're done. You'll never be good enough. But that's okay, because this happened, so you don't have to be good enough. I'm still, I have a hard time with that.
Okay.
I have a hard time with that. I know what the right answer is, but one day I have it and it's in my fist and I've got it and it's like fine, you get it, and it's in my hand and I have control of it and I feel, the spirit is in me. I feel like,
I don't know if this is I have mixed feelings about this conversation occurring, because I feel like they're trying to be very deep and profound on things that are very intimate and personal.
Yeah. To be honest with you, these guys are kind of, again, a lot of this is just I don't want to say gaslighting, but a lot of it's ego boosting or alms. Is it alms giving? Would you say would this be considered alms giving, Luke? I'm not exactly sure what alms giving is. Alms giving. Almsgiving. Almsgiving is to give to others is an act of virtue. Either, let's see, what does it mean? Here we go. Almsgiving involves giving to others as a act of virtue, either materially or in the sense of providing capabilities, education, free as it exists in a number of religions. Oh, okay. So it's enabling others. No, it's not that. It's not that. No, but in all honesty, a lot of it comes off as Milo just. Again, I wouldn't say Milo is bad, but keep playing it. Pause it, Luke, every so often. If you could pause it next time, like again, I want to hear what they're saying, but I know it's a long conversation, and I guess we need to have context here. But again, you're not wrong regarding this being this being essentially a how should you say it?
This is very sincere. It's a very intimate conversation. I don't think this is like a. I mean, I know the whole thing about the YouTube and internet is having these intimate conversations, but I feel kind of weird watching it.
Yeah, again, there's nothing they can do. They're virtue signaling. That's all they're doing. They're virtue signaling, and they're talking about nothing. It really is imagine they're all talking about themselves, and they're trying to they're trying to absolve themselves. Imagine that for a second. Just imagine this when they say God, they're trying to absolve themselves from any action that they're taking. Playing it.
Interfere with prayer. They won't like me saying that, but it does. It kind of gets in the way because I'm arrested sometimes by feelings of being inadequate or unworthy or revolting or insufficient, and I have to remind myself. And I know up here, but sometimes don't feel in my heart all the time. But it comes and goes. I think you were right when you said you're a little further along than I am. But it gets better every day. I mean, like every day I feel like I have another 0.2% of it. So it's definitely moving in the right direction. But I would be lying if I said I'm good because I don't need to be better. The Lord runs through me. All I got to do is give myself up to God. Yeah, I kind of know all of that, but I'm not going to pretend that every single day I feel that.
Process. It is a process. I think the Protestants think that it's a one-time emotional experience. You're saved and you're done. The Orthodox Church.
No, they don't. No, they don't. Pause it. They do not believe that. The Protestants, a lot of them have become antinomian. This is true, but I think a lot of that is because a lot of Protestants only listen to Joel Osteen, only listen to Charles Stanley, only listen to what was the guy who Beckloff was
prosperity preaching.
That, and also who was the other guy? James McDonald,
James
right?
McDonald, yeah, it's him.
That's the guy who said that he was going to put child porn on people's computer.
Yeah,
they only know the Hollywood version, Hollywoodinity, I guess it would be, or Christianity from Hollywood. No, like they only know Seventh Heaven. No, seriously, that's probably the best way to describe that type of religion is seventh heaven. It's the seventh heavens according to Hollywood, right?
Yeah.
Or Christianity according to, the seven heavens.
Or heaven forbid, the Christianity according to The Simpsons. Ugh.
Or Christianity according to supernatural. I mean, that's basically what we're getting into now, because now we're getting to the point where Christianity has to be destroyed at all costs because, they won't get along with the communist agenda, the fascist agenda, the globalist agenda, or any kind of agenda. They don't know what exactly the problem is because they don't know the word, because they never dig deep enough, and they don't know what. No, I ain't bashing any Protestants at all. I'm not going to bash Protestants, Brendan. I'm actually going to say that steelman their argument. There are Protestants out there who do know what antinomianism is, but there are very few and far between. And I think that's the big problem: is we are all antinomians. We have let our culture die because of the cultural norms. We let our culture die, but we also let the cultural norms die as a result. So we were a white Anglo-Saxon Protestant country. Whether you think white really matters or not, the Anglo-Saxon Protestant part, which is Anglo-Saxon law and Protestant values, has been lost.
It's probably to call white English, honestly, because that's more accurate. Because Sargon has made the point that white is technically English.
He's not wrong. He's correct about that. Because again, the Prussians, they had a little bit of a history in America. We killed them on Christmas. America, fuck yeah. Again, the Hessians, right? And at the same fucking time, we also coincidentally had some of our continental militia trained by Prussian officers. Let's see. Triple X. Didn't the Seventh Heaven dad get exposed as a child molester? Yes, he did. That is true. Wasn't he in the first Star Trek movie? I'm not sure if he was.
He was in the Three Stooges movie.
There's a Three Stooges movie?
Yeah, there was recently someone found 3 actors that acted and sounded just like them, and he was one of the main antagonists.
Oh, fuck. Do we really need to have Three Stooges like comeback tours, like we have the Beatles comeback tours, or
nothing came of it though? It was just a one-off thing. Nothing really came of it.
How did you I'm surprised you actually know this information. Did you watch it?
I was working in a movie theater when it came out.
Oh, not bad. Well, at least, would you recommend?
The biggest problem with this movie is that there's a certain rule in the Three Stooges world is that you never make characters dumber than the Three Stooges, and there were characters dumber than the Three Stooges.
Oh, I never knew that was a rule, but okay,
whenever you watch a Three Stooges, there's an unspoken rule that the Three Stooges are the dumbest people there, and you never make any of the characters dumber. There's like an unofficial rule that in a
Luke,
Three Stooges...
did you get shot?
Yes?
Luke?
Can you hear me?
Luke?
Can you hear me?
Luke?
Can you hear me? I can hear you.
Did you die?
Can you hear me or not?
Oh boy.
Can you hear me? We have some connection problems with folks. Oh dear. Maybe you could... yeah, something's wrong here. Uh-oh. Wait, now my image is gone. What's going on here? Why is my image gone? What the... Uh-oh. The video was ended because the connection was lost. Wait, is my internet connection down? This is weird. I'll try to reconnect with Dashing with another video. Hopefully I can get this open again. Hangouts. Accidentally ended the stream.
Okay.
I think I turned the stream back on, so I'm not sure if it started another window or if it just kicked up again.
Well, we're still going. What happened?
I don't know. The internet just stopped and then it came back on again.
I heard a pop. I heard a fucking pop. And I thought, Luke, did you just get shot?
What pop?
I heard a pop and then you were off. I heard a poof, and I heard nothing.
Hey, Luke, never accuse. See, Luke, I can hear him. I can hear Luke. I can hear you, Luke. Everything looks normal here. Dashing seems away. I can hear you, both of you. Okay. We're back on again.
Yeah, fuck. That was kind of freaky. I was going to make a Metal Gear Solid reference, but the problem here is that if you actually got shot or something like that, I would have felt really bad in hindsight, so I didn't do it. So I had to reference it because homage when you want to keep yourself morally neutral. And I'll keep playing. Get back to it. Play it, Luke.
Okay.
Say if it's the this house is clear. Like it's all that Protestant nonsense. Yeah, for sure. I think that's true too. That's why I always hated when people talk about have you been saved?
Yeah.
I mean, I know
I'm being saved. I'm in the process of it. Right?
Yeah. So what do you mean have I been saved? No, of course I haven't been saved. I'm saved from No, it always does feel like that when they talk about it, doesn't it? It's like that. It was July 5th. They all have a date. Protestants all have a date. It was July 5th, 2011. That was the day Jesus saved me. And I'm like, how did that happen? What? Yeah, that's not my experience at all.
But I can tell you that sometimes when I pray...
It was my experience, though.
Well, you had an experience like that?
Yeah, it was I forgot to write down the exact day, but it was a particular day in a particular situation, yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, let me just say this. I think everyone had a come to Jesus moment because we are, as Christians, supposed to testify. The problem here in this regard is that they make it all about them. They don't make it all about God. And again, let me ask you a question. If you were to tell me right now how you came to Jesus, how long would it be? If little real talk, if you can't make it within one sentence or 2 or 3 sentences, not without a paragraph, paragraph's giving it too much, then you're probably talking too much about your your own self.
My conversion basically was a snapshot of my entire existence, so I kind of have to give context to it.
Yep. Well, again, I don't know. Let me ask you this then. Do you think that your story that you would tell which is really just a sales pitch for Christ at the end of the day, that's what it is. You're trying to get someone to buy into the notion of how God saved you. Do you think that it's a bit narcissistic? Not again, I'm not trying to bash Christianity or Protestants or you, Luke. I'm just saying, again, this is something that you have to examine because then it might feel that you're guilting somebody into following you. You see how that can be perceived? Or not only following God, not following you, but following God, so to speak.
It's my conversion. It's very personal, so I don't see how that's narcissistic.
Well, I mean, if you're using it as a way to try to convert others and trying to say, look where I was and where I've been, it kind of does put it on you. It's no longer on God.
Yeah, my conversion was not that interesting, though. It's like C.S. Lewis's story when his conversion was just going from traveling with his brother to the zoo, and he just believed. One day he just started believing.
I see. Yeah, again, I don't know. I don't want to bash you. I'm sorry about that, but again, I think that there is a point when he says a lot of these Protestants are just antinomian, and I think Protestants in the sense that it's a Protestant nation. But anyhow, continue.
I know this experience. Like the moment far too many Christians are not interested in worldly politics or anything like that on the grounds that that's just a worldly stuff and we don't have to worry about worldly things. It's no, you should kind of be responsible for something. I mean, you're a steward. I mean, even from the days of Adam and Eve, we were called to be stewards of the earth, so you should care about something.
Yep.
A memory of a random sin, horrible sin I did in the past pops in my mind. Where does that come from? I think I know. So this is something is never going to go away totally. I mean, because the more sins you do, the more that Satan has access to your heart to disturb your faith. So that's why I tell young men who are, I want to be with a woman. Roosh, it's easy for you to say not to sleep with girls, but I wish I didn't. Because then Satan wouldn't have this access that he has to me and to you too. So I think this is a heavier cross that we'll have to bear due to what we did in the past for such a long time.
Can I ask you, I want to share something with you. I know you're leading up to something, but I want to share something with you. I don't know if I've ever said this publicly. I mentioned earlier about how I'm kind of fidgety, and people always think I'm hyped up on something. One of the problems that I have, priests always kind of like listen sympathetically to this, but none of them's ever really responded because I just think they don't really know what to say. I'm very fidgety because my mind is the same. It's scatty and all over the place, and you know, it's ADD brain, right? Finding even a moment of peace in order to appeal, to pray, to ask, to offer myself up, it's almost impossible for me. Whether I'm in a good place spiritually or I'm waking up in cold sweats after the dreams, it doesn't seem to matter. It's extremely difficult for me to find any kind of prolonged, peaceful, spiritual, and I've tried everything. And the problem that I have,
Punish Milo.
I don't know that you've had it.
No, seriously, that's punish Milo. Like he like why are we here? Just to suffer? Like legitimately, that's what I'm getting here. Why? Like they're literally asking that question. Why are we here? Just to suffer? Like it's kind of it's passive aggressive as hell. But continue, Luke. Wow.
Any experience with this? But maybe somebody who's watching this could write to me and tell me if they have views on this. I have, and I do take from time to time medication to help with that. I have like a small, there's Adderall from time to time to like just keep me focused on things. And sometimes I do take a couple of them if I have a book chapter to write or something. It feels obscene to me to contemplate praying in a state where I know my consciousness is chemically altered. But by the same token, it seems to me that is addressing something that's a little bit off. So I never have prayed when I've taken medication like that, because something about it feels blasphemous and obscene. I think that in the same way that I never have when I've been drunk. I can feel my leg. That feels so wrong. I just run like any other.
No, like why are we here? Just to suffer? Like it really is like misery porn with these fuckers. Yes, I get it. You had some fucked up shit happen to you. I get you. Now, again, maybe Roosh doesn't know about this. Maybe Milo doesn't know about this. But antinomianism is the greatest heresy of the 20th century. It is the greatest heresy I've ever seen inflicted upon this great nation of ours. Basically, what it is that you can have Christ as your savior, but not as your Lord. You don't have to follow the 10 Commandments. You don't have to follow the laws of Moses. You don't have to follow the moral law. You can let sins go unpunished, essentially. Let's see. Brian Proctor, welcome, by the way. Yes, yes, we're here just to suffer. 2, just suffering is an invitation to consciousness. 3, lol, you're here to suffer. Yeah. I don't know which one am I? One, yes, we're here just to suffer. 2, suffering is an invitation to consciousness. 3, you're here to suffer. Okay, I'm suffering very well, actually. I really am.
Yeah, I hear. Yeah, antinomianism from Wikipedia is any view which rejects laws or legalism and argues against moral, religious, and social norms, or is at least concerned to do so. And I see where they're going with this. Like, antinomianism would be something like what Paul said, like, well, what shall we do? Shall we sin all the more and let grace abound? May it never be.
All right, Bryden Parker would like to come on. We can let you on. Let me send me an invite. Do you have a Discord? I'm gonna send you an invite to the Hangouts. Okay. Discord. Let me see if I can get this shit up. I'm sorry, I'm a tech boomer. I will type in my Discord. I will give that to you. Let's see. Correct messages pending. No, that's not pending. Add friend. Fuck. How the hell do I do this shit? Fuck. Now I have to learn Discord. God damn it. I hate this shit. I'm a boomer. God damn. Motherfucker. Friends. Oh boy. I'll find you, dude. I'll find you. Damn it. How the hell am I gonna get them on here? Fuck.
Send him the
We're
link.
friends.
Well, you can send the link.
I know. Damn it. Okay, we're friends on Discord. I'll look at my friends. Brandon Proctor. No, I don't see him, man. I'm sorry. Which one are you? I'm sorry. I'm kind of fucked up in this regard. And plus, it doesn't help that I'm kind of blitzed. Oh boy. Jeez, man. I'm sorry. Damn it. Sorry, man. I'll find you on. I'll get you on in a second. Or maybe we're not. We're not. I don't think we are. Do you have a Skype? Do you have a Skype? I can send it to you for Skype. I'm sorry. I know we're all going to Microsoft Teams, but I have a Skype. Gotta give them Skype. I'll let you into the Discord. Okay. Thank you, man. Thank you. And let's hope to God it actually is him and not somebody who's a troll, so to speak. All right. Let's see. Where are you? I don't see ya. Bryden. Kind of fucking start shit. You're not there, man. I thought that was my bad. I'm real dumb. No, it's not your fault. It's not your fault, bro. I'm pretty sure. I don't know. Let me see if I can get Forney to get. I'm sorry, man. I don't have your data here, and I look up that number. There's nothing there. Oh man. But anyway, anyhow, keep talking, Luke, if you can. Well, not Luke. Keep playing it. I'm gonna try to get him on here as soon as I can. I'm gonna figure this shit out. Go on.
Direction, 1,000 miles an hour. But I struggle. I mean, I just find it impossible to. It's just like even sitting through mass sometimes. Like I'm like ready to explode out of the pew. You know. I know you guys stand, which would be even worse for me. I don't know if anybody's watching this.
Have you? Now
I'm sure there are plenty. But
we have.
That's like my big. That's my big torture du jour. Is that right? Sometimes, some days I just need to be chilled out, and I really can't go to church that day.
Now, we have been born in a world that is fallen, so we're going to have various mental and physical deficiencies which make our approach to Christ harder. But whatever deficiency you perceive, whether it's not being able to concentrate, which I have that problem too, maybe not as severe as you, have you tried asking God to help you with this? And by asking him, I mean every night, asking him, Lord, help me with this, help clear my mind so I can pray to you. Have you tried that?
Yes,
that's what
I don't think that I have, and I'm not one of those people that, you know, like America is like a country where everybody seems to think they've met Jesus. Everyone's had this like religious experience. I don't really think God reveals himself that way. I think he will plant people and things in your path, though. And one of the things that has helped me is to develop hobbies that help my mind to think in orderly and structured ways. So I'm taking Latin classes now, partly to help me understand the Mass more, but also because I want to avoid that. You know, sometimes when you are doing religious ceremonies in a language,
it seems like you're trying to solve the problem on your own through whatever the hobbies, the medication. But have you asked God directly, persistently, consistently, in tears, like, Lord, I need help. Please help me with this. Because, I mean, he's the ultimate healer. I mean, he can heal. If what you're asking is going to help you with your salvation, which I think in this case probably will, he's going to help you. But he wants you to humble yourself before him, not solve the problem on your own, unless he enlightens you on what the problem is. But
well, I was gonna get to saying I was praying for a while about this, on and off, admittedly.
It's persistent every day until it's solved. And I've read some stories. It could take years. It could take years.
Okay. Let me answer that question. I don't pray very often.
That's a problem.
In fact, no. I haven't finished the sentence.
Sorry. Okay, sorry. Sorry.
I keep wanting to say things I shouldn't say. I don't pray very often for myself. It's very rare that I will say, Lord, please help me with this. Or pretty much.
I'm going to double check right now. I'm going to double check. I'm double checking.
Yeah, I honestly don't know how to add friends on Discord.
No, I don't. Again, I'm sorry, man. I am a tech boomer. I have Waffle Evil. I have I don't deleted user. I have a lot of deleted users on here. Okay, that must be that's him. Instagram, Red Pill Gaming. Don't know who the fuck that is. Yeah, again, I'm sorry. I don't have you on Discord, man. I'm looking for you. I can't find you. Shit. Can't send it to you through Twitter. Again, I'm sorry. I'm having a boomer moment, man. I'm gonna ask Forney. I'm gonna get Forney in here. Shit. Fuck. Maybe Terror House has you. Maybe I don't know. Shit. Is it? Yeah, I'm typing that in. I'm typing. Do you see him on there, Luke?
I don't.
I don't see it.
I don't know how to add people.
I'm trying to add him. Type in the username. Got nothing. Send view friend requests. It didn't work. Double check the capitalization. Maybe it is the capitalization. Nope, it's not the capitalization.
Dashing Rogue is having a tech boomer moment. Everyone.
No, it just doesn't. It just doesn't say anything. I added it. I tried to, and I'm trying to add friend. Doesn't work. Try to send DM. Doesn't work. Again, maybe I'm just being an asshole. Maybe I'm being trolled. Who fucking knows? I really don't care. Honestly, again, I don't know. It's just fucking weird, I guess. Fuck. So anyhow, I'm sorry, man.
Did you go to add friends in the corner?
Yeah, I did. Yes, I did. And I'm not a dummy. I'm like, Luke. You could very well show him on his.
I got him.
You got him?
I think.
Send me his link, please.
Well, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. You got it.
You could show it. Show it in the. We actually. This is one of the perks I have of. Well, this is one of the perks I have of being on the internet and having Luke as my AV guy. He could actually show him the desk. Well, Luke, just in case, make sure you hide all the information regarding the podcast before, if you can, and then you can show you could show trying to add someone.
I can't do that without showing the screen.
Yeah, I know. Add friend. Double clicking doesn't work.
Well, double clicking what?
Yeah.
There's just a bar where it says like enter the username and hashtag.
Yeah, I know. That's what I just tried to do, and it doesn't work.
Did you copy paste it and all that?
Yes, I copied paste. It says I click add friend. Add friend. You can add a friend with the Discord.
Send friend request.
Send friend request. Okay, looking at pending, nothing. It says add friend. That's all it says on Discord. That's it. And maybe I have an older version of Discord. That's very much possible. Jesus Christ.
You can show me your screen so I can see if it's different.
Nah, I can't, man. I can, but fuck. This is stupid. I'm gonna have to delete this fucking podcast. Fuck. Oh God, how fucking cute.
Or I can just call him right here if you want.
You can call him. Bring him on here. Bring him on. Jesus Christ. I am so sorry, Bryden. Again, this is probably going to look really bad on me.
Well, let me get him on the speakers.
Oh, Christ. I am having a tech boomer moment. And to think that I fucking work in tech. God damn.
Oh, hold on. I almost got it. I almost got you. Voice, video, speakers, output device on. Here, try this.
This is.
All right, on now.
How you doing? Hey.
Oh, can you hear dashing? I'm not sure if you can hear that setup.
No. I was just listening to your show. I can't hear him yet. I am so sorry. I fucked all this up.
No, it's not your fault. It's not your fault. It's all good. Don't worry about it.
No,
again.
What's going on? Why can't you just add me into the call?
Because I try to enter in that information.
Better yet, since we have that here, I'll just send you the link now for something more efficient. Here, I'll send you
Check
into
for
the call.
Yeah, literally anything.
No, I'm trying.
I can fucking stream into your call. Okay, hold on.
fucking no, seriously. I try to add you. I type in add friend. You can add friends. I paste in the link.
Here he is.
Okay. Yeah, there I am. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
I can hear you.
Okay,
I can hear
good.
you.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. I didn't know it was going to be that disruptive. I'm so sorry.
I guess the dashing has a different version that prevents him from adding people.
I don't know. I don't know if I do. Maybe I do. Maybe I do. I have no fucking clue.
I think you're just fucking retarded.
No, I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry. I didn't know. It's again. I'm checking to see if I have a new update. If I have anything, am I able to be contacted? I'm literally. Jesus Christ!
I'm sorry. No, I am sorry. You were like having a podcast, and it was like, I show up, and I'm like, you know what? Let me ruin it. I'm so sorry. I did not. That was not what I wanted to do. I just thought this was interesting that I did. Roosh and Milo were having this thing. And I would assume that you guys are religious, right?
I am a religious. I'm trying to be. It's hard to, but one of the things I know is that they're both correct. Yes, you're correct in regard that you're supposed to fight back against this type of crap. But at the same fucking time, you have to be able to, acknowledge the world as it is, sort of like a Machiavellian sort of world. You have to have that type of mindset. The problem here is that Machiavelli, for the longest time, was hated by the feudal and traditional type of people, mostly due to the fact that the guy legitimately was Machiavel. He fucking was trying to manipulate people. He was basically saying lying is okay. That you have to learn not to be good. And I think that's sort of what these guys have.
But I mean, look, The Prince is, everybody should read The Prince. It's one of the 10 books that ruined the world. With the, yeah. Now, and what about you? I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I don't know your name. I just know the Dashing Rogue because he's a good guy. But I'm sorry, I'm not sure if I know you. I may, but I get drunk a lot.
Okay, no, don't worry.
No, not you. No, not you. I know you, dummy. The other fella.
Layman.
Who
I
let
go
me in
by
here.
Luke.
Luke. Okay, yeah, Luke. My name is Bryden. Thank you for figuring out Discord. I am. On the other hand, I'm not against religion. I think it's great, but I'm not a religious person. I don't think that either one of these motherfuckers are either, but I think that they're at least trying. I think that that's good. I'm much more. How do you put it? Terror management theory, or it's very pessimistic in nature, that type of thing. I don't like that we have to go back to Machiavellianism in order to get people like this to, like, this is just people reaching deeply to have some type of a meaning. And I don't mean meaning as in relevancy of themselves on the internet, which I think Milo is desperately reaching for, but I don't know. I mean, maybe he has had a big turnaround or something like that. I don't know. Apparently he's not gay anymore or something like that. I don't care. He's hilarious. I think Milo is very funny. I subscribe to the ideas of Ernest Becker, if you're familiar with him at all.
No, I'm not familiar with Ernest Becker. Go right ahead.
So Ernest Becker, he wrote three books before he died, but his most famous is the Denial of Death, and the entire idea of Ernest Becker and Sheldon Solomon, who came up with The Worm at the Core is a book him and another couple guys wrote about. They just did all sociological studies on it, but was that everything that we do is based on this idea of denying the fact that we're going to die. So Becker talked a lot about the three types of heroism, which is religious heroism, which is something that's completely dead because, as Friedrich Nietzsche talked about is like God is dead. Like we're not religious as a species anymore, and that's ultimately terrible. But what people mostly do is social heroism. So they find a meaning in life through different social causes of, I guess like political parties or, being really good at their job or, anything that most of us do to try to find what we define ourselves as. And then there's the rarest part, which is personal heroism, which is impossible. We're not going to find personal meaning in our own lives through ourselves. And then terror management theory, which Sheldon Solomon is the main proponent of and the big face of, is that everything that we do is completely encapsulated with and surrounded by a fear of death. And when I watch these guys, I mean, like, I have no problem with either one of these guys. They both seem awesome. I think they're great right-wing Trump dudes. They seem rather surrounded in this whole idea of, like, pretending to be religious. And maybe they are religious, but, like, I think being religious is probably pretending to be most of the time, because both of them came to it later in life and they're wanting to be religious. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not doubting their faith. But that's kind of what it is like trying to find meaning.
I want to believe.
Right. Exactly. Like Kierkegaard.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. And, I agree with what you're saying in regards to, I agree. However, we don't know their heart. We don't know their heart. We don't know their hearts. We don't know their minds. There's only so what's in the past and what we can look forward towards the future.
I assume their part. I assume their heart is good, because they're old school Trump guys. So I assume their heart is good. I assume that they do mean this, but that doesn't mean that it's true. It just means that it's true to them. And I don't subscribe to postmodernism. So I think that it's true to them. And that's good, and that is fine, and that is the way that it should be. But it doesn't make it any less stupid in my... I'm sorry if I've been drinking all day. It doesn't make it any less stupid in my eyes. But yes, Ernest Becker, The Denial of Death, fantastic book. People should read that. The Birth and Death of Meaning is a very good one about cultural stuff. But yeah, I'm the odd one out here, so I'd like to be called a dickhead for it. But
no, it's
and thanks for having me on.
It's really good. I mean, this is really interesting. I mean, I'd like to have you on again at some point, but this is really good. This is really good, interesting to me. I mean, I personally don't agree with some of the notions of the whole death thing, but what I was trying to get across here is that you can only judge people for what they do. Yes, everyone's a sinner. Everyone has sinned. But there's a certain point where we have to start judging people based on, like, it's one thing to say, hey, don't do it again. It's another thing to say, you did it for the 40th time. At what point do I start spanking you? At what point do I spank Milo or Roosh? And I'll let you decide.
Milo's had sex with more than 40 dudes. Do we say, in the Christian way of things, when do you go, okay, he's unforgivable, and you toss him out of the walls of the city? I mean, I don't know. I mean, like, I think Milo is hilarious, and I've always thought that he's hilarious. I don't care if he's gay or a Christian or any of that. I don't. I think he's funny. I do think he's a grifter. But, good. Get your grift on, brother fucker. Like, by the way, brother fucker, let's make that a thing.
I don't know.
That rules. No, it's a good saying that I accidentally said because I've been drinking.
But I'm curious. Like, Beckloff also said that Milo's a grifter. Is he putting on a show? Is he being completely dishonest and being sincere?
Yeah. No, he's an entertainer. He's an entertainer and a propagandist, and I admire him for that. And I think he does a good job at it, and I think he's incredible at doing it. He gets people to be on his side. That rules.
But I mean,
honest. What is honesty?
Well, I mean,
what is
grift
honesty?
kind of implies that you're just pretending to go along with it to get an audience.
Yeah. No, I mean, if Chase Bank showed up right now, just doing commercials of Adolf Hitler, walking down the street, he'd go, "I love Chase Bank." It's not. He's chosen a side, and that's fine. But, he goes on the Gas Digital stuff, and he rules. Don't get me wrong, but I don't think he really has. He's
Hitler or Milo.
Yes. Well, actually, somebody did dress up as Hitler and go on Legion of Skanks, but he was just telling me that when he played Resident Evil 7, he peed his pants.
I didn't pee my pants.
He said that he peed all over himself because he's a baby.
No, bro, I wasn't.
That's what you said. You were like, "I'm a baby. I peed all over my pants."
No. I didn't say that. That's a silly.
You implied it pretty hard though.
No,
like,
I'm just
baby.
No, what the conversation was about was essentially the when we were going to the you were talking about horror movies. We were talking about recent films that we went to see, and eventually we were talking in regards to what is out there. I don't actually go out and watch TV. I don't actually watch TV anymore. I don't listen to the radio. I don't even fucking have
because you're too scared.
Not at all, bro.
You're too scared. You pee your pants.
We talked about the Joker as the last film. Are you sure about that?
You put the idea in his head.
Because you're a little baby. I don't watch the Joker. He's too scary.
Although, to be fair, the Joker was a little disturbing.
Have you seen what it's like out there? Have you seen what it's like out there?
Yeah. No, I mean, I live in the fucking ghetto. It stinks, man. But you know what?
No.
It's, I play horror games and
It's a scary place.
Resident Evil 7 is a pretty scary game. I do like that game. It's very good. It's very good. As a horror game connoisseur, I have played every horror game that is notable.
Well,
yeah, it's a scary game. I'll give you that. It's a very scary game.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Is it gone down again?
It's down again. Oh, at least it's on my end. And trying to get this thing up again.
I don't see it. Let's see.
So it's not my end now?
Okay, we're still going.
All right.
Oh boy, we're good.
Great podcast you guys got here. This is good.
No.
Today's a fluke. Normally we're on Sundays, but today we had to catch up for 4th of July.
Armored Ghost goes, Bryden's already pouring another drink and 2 glasses waiting for this out.
Oh, criminy. Luke.
My connection's fine. I don't know what the problem is.
No, I think it's okay. I hate that you guys were having a normal podcast. You were like, Milo and Rouge, and then I'm like, let's ruin that entirely. This is all my fault.
No, well, I hope it's not all your fault. Legitimately, I hope you didn't fucking dox me or something, or try to fucking nuke my fucking internet access.
It's true. It's true. I did DDoS him, and his name is Todd Gaiman.
Todd Gaiman, huh?
Yeah, because you're on top of the game, man.
Ooh.
Because you just can't get away from him. You love him too much. You jump on him at bus stops.
Maybe we need to send me a new key or something. Because my site is streaming fine. I have a green connection. So
no, I think it's good. I think it's okay. Hold on. Somebody in the chat tell me how long it says after I say the N word. No.
No, you can. I mean, we're a free speech podcast.
I wouldn't do that though.
Well, for whatever reason, it's sending to YouTube, but YouTube ain't receiving it.
Are we blocked?
I don't. Did I get fucking kicked? Did my channel? I wonder if my channel got nuked. Holy shit!
Let me see. The Dashing Rogue, 1 person watching now, which is not the problem. It says you're live. 1 person watching.
All right, hold the phone.
Again.
Here.
Streaming monitor been 4 minutes. We've been live for 4 minutes and 16 seconds. What the fuck?
Yeah, well, I disconnected and turned it back on.
Jesus Christ. Well, on Travone we're seeing it, but it's not. There's something wrong with fucking. I think it's something wrong with fucking Streamlabs or streamer.org. I think that might be it because Periscope's having problems. Travone we're online. And DLive were online, but not. It's still saying sending data via YouTube and Periscope. So something ain't right on those particular streams.
Oh, could you send me the link on the other ones? I want to see if I can see them.
Yeah, I'm gonna send you the link. Give me 1 second. Don't worry about this. We're gonna we'll get this figured out.
I like how
No, it's not even that.
No, Mossad is shutting me down, dude.
Yeah, I think no. Seriously, we got this information, dude. Like, no, Luke, can you verify that this is?
Oh no, he's gonna be over here. He might say something. He's gonna
copy.
Well, you do know that it just for in all records, you do know that in California they started to basically set up a new KGB area, right? Like they're making
yeah. They did it in Florida as well. Yeah. With the
Stasi
Capitol
shit.
Police. Yeah, I know.
Fucking Stasi shit, right?
Okay, so we are live on Trovo. I'm looking at the Trovo right now.
Yeah, I see on D Live too. So,
what the fuck?
Is YouTube just broken?
They may just. Yeah, it might be. I'm sorry.
That is so strange. Maybe send out a link. Maybe send the link that says, "Oh no, there's only one person watching, so you might not get the link."
Yeah, no, it is working on there. This is great.
This is fucking sad. Jesus Christ, I'm gonna try and make a new stream on this particular. I'm gonna make a new stream.
It is. Yeah, I guess do it. It's playing the same thing over and over on YouTube. This rules, dude. This is hilarious.
So what's the plan? Do we save the West Side quest and then start over again?
I'm so sorry, dude.
It's not your fault. It's all good. It's all good. It's
just a weird
thing. Go have a podcast
on my end and then on his end. Now the YouTube's end. So I'm not sure what the deal is.
Well, the Trovo was working. The DLive was working. I checked both those.
So Trovo's working. DLive's working. I may have just gotten flagged off of YouTube. Who knows?
They would. You check your email, but probably not.
I don't think I did. But maybe I'm just hanging out with you and well, I'll just say you have a pretty edgy show. Not to bash you or anything. not to bash you. But I've turned in some of your stuff. And by the way, go subscribe to him. He's a good guy. Good foreign. He's one of the foreign people. Good people. A little bit edgy. Maybe. Again, I don't actually tell you the truth. You have a YouTube channel,
stand-up comedian. Yeah, it just got if you youtube.com/Bryden Proctor, but on DLive and Trovo just Bryden. But I'm not that edgy. I'm not that edgy, man.
Right on. And it's good to have.
I am that edgy. I have to delete a lot of the streams.
Let them, because let's be frank with yourself. If you're edgy, you're probably funny, and if you're funny, you're probably are gonna tell the truth.
I'm just a shitty stand-up comedian, man. So that's just. I'm just not a very good comic, but I am a comic. Used to have a politics show long time ago. Can't get on Twitter. Real edgy guy,
All right, let me type this shit in. I'm making a new stream. Give me a second.
You give the signal.
Well, first off, I'm gonna make a new stream and I'm gonna reconnect it. We're still technically on. We're still technically on freaking Trovo and the others, but on Periscope and YouTube for whatever fucking reason, it's not going through.
Well, Periscope especially doesn't like me because it's owned by Twitter, and I am
It could very well
real banned from Twitter.
Let me just say this: if it is YouTube, and if it is Periscope, and what do they all have in common? They're all mainstream tech. It very well could be that you are voice tagged and ID'd.
It's
could be
that. It's that they're mainstream tech, not that they're yeah, completely. Yeah, it's mainstream.
Well, again, Wojcicki is a Polish name. I'd say she's a communist before I would say that she's an Orthodox Jew or even a modern Orthodox Jew. There's so many fucking variants. Someone has to actually calculate all the like the stars of the sky, like snowflakes.
Well, they like that. They're numerologists, basically. I mean, like, fuck.
I don't know about numerology, maybe astrology. I've heard that Judaism was a fucking what was it? What is it? Fuck. There was a guy named Mark Passy. There's a fucking weirdo on the internet. You ever want to get a gold mine of hilarious shit? Go look up him. He's pretty funny. No, like he's a conspiracy theory anarchist guy. He gets so angry. Like you can look up. Actually, you know what? We might actually pull this. I'm actually sending it to you privately in the link or whatever.
Yeah, you should. I mean, that guy sounds dope as fuck. Conspiracy theories, fucking anarchists. Those are like my types of people, dude. They're like, oh, the government's bad. And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, also built on the occult. And I'm like, yeah.
Government is slavery. Government is slavery. I'm like, okay.
Well, the government is slavery. I mean, the fact that like, yeah, dude, taxation is theft, and the government is slavery completely. I don't know why anybody would like fight against that damn thing. It's just common sense. Now, is it something that makes sense? Sure, because it's like otherwise you get shot in the face, like not by the government necessarily, but like by other people. Other people are terrible. Hobbes was completely right when he talked about like how man is such a savage and stuff like that. I mean, it's completely true. So yeah, we need a little bit of government, and we need morality, and we need this lie of morality to make people not shoot me in the face, basically. But yeah, the big thing that I want to talk about. Let me know when you're here, because I would like people to hear about it, because it is the truth. I believe in terror management theory, and I believe it circumvents. Because we need something to replace God, unfortunately, because people don't believe in God anymore, and that's why we're having the problems we're having. But I'm not religious.
So God is dead, and we have killed him, essentially.
How shall we, the murder of all murderers, comfort ourselves?
There you go. Look.
We're still on regarding YouTube, but I don't know about. When we're not on YouTube, we're still on DLive and Trovo. This is very fucking weird, Luke. I have no clue why this is. I'll try YouTube backup, the backup server. Let's try that. Boof.
I mean, look, there's no way that that's actually my problem. I'm not that famous, but
again, it was just a theory. It wasn't meant to be like an insult. But I mean, you never know nowadays. It's a possibility. Again, I don't know.
They don't want the truth getting out about terror management theory.
They very well might. And to be honest with you, I wouldn't be surprised at the way that I acted, and as somebody who actually wanted to know about the information, and the way that you had information, you were confident, you were good how you carried yourself and all. I wouldn't be surprised if that type of scenario wasn't created by HR for that particular reason. This type of micromanagement shit is typical of the Silicon Valley tech cartels.
That would rule though if that was like your job. You just like sat around and you're like, I don't know, these guys seem a little too confident.
No, like
I don't know what they're talking about, but they seem a little too sure of themselves. So let's cut the string. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna have to restart. We have to restart the podcast. I'm gonna toggle on, toggle off, and toggle on. No, it's not fucking working. I gotta upgrade. Fucking A.
It also just might be the Google services are down, which everybody relies on for their goddamn lights sometimes.
Let me see if let's actually look this up, because we're doing it. I mean, let's be frank.
It still says you're live. but it's the same thing. It's just stuck. Just post your D live. I mean, those people are gone.
Yeah, I'm gonna post a D live. Fucking bullshit. One day I get tested, and the fucking day that I get screwed over.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, to me, it's very important, and you pull it off. You put the Denial of Deaths by Ernest Becker up on the thing, because to me, that's everything. Like, I don't, I'm not a religious person. I believe that religion should.
Although I will say this,
Go ahead.
Well, I'll say this in your defense. In your defense, you are evangelizing a certain idea. I will say this, and then again, so am I. But then again, everyone is. But go on.
Well, that's why I wanted to pop on anyway, was the Denial of Death. It's because I saw what you guys were doing. Also, I watch a show rather often. Like, I don't watch the whole goddamn thing because, like, I don't have that type of time. Tim Pool's Tim Pool makes 25-minute videos. I watch the first 3 minutes and I go, "Oh, that's what the news is today, huh?" I'm not one of those, but I always, every time you're streaming, I'll pop in for like at least 5 minutes, sometimes half an hour. Like, what are these boys up to? Let's see. But you did put Ernest Becker's The Denial of Death up there, and I think that like, as far as evangelize, that word, this has done it for me, and this is good.
This is very fucking. I'm actually kind of nervous now. Are they gonna come and get me?
No, none of.
No, I'm in the valley, bro. I mean, legitimately, this is kind of fucking creepy shit. Like,
no.
Yeah, they're not. They're ruthless, but not that psychotic. At least not yet.
Well, I mean, Jesus Christ! I mean, the fucking Stasi headquarters is in fucking San Francisco. It's like 40 miles away.
They may come and kill you, but hear me out.
What?
Everything in your entire life, as far as like what you're trying to do with your show, whether you know it or not, or like what you're trying to do with your career, or everything when you wake up in the morning, is just fighting off the idea of death. Death is something that it's the last thing in the world that we want to think about. And this has been proved by sociological studies. We hate thinking about it. We do more harm to people when we think about it. Like, to the point that, like, if somebody has a different religion than us, we think that person is bad. Everything that we want to, and again, this is the Worm at the Core by Sheldon Solomon, or you can really go to the source material, which is The Denial of Death or The Birth and Death of Meaning, both by Ernest Becker, or you can really, really get to it, which is Fear and Trembling with Soren Kierkegaard. That's right. It's a great book. It's a really, really good book. You're on the philosophy tip?
I dabble. I dabble a lot. Let's just say that. I oftentimes I briefly look into it, read the summary, and then move on. And if I like it, I start looking deeper into it. And if I don't, then what have you. I'm not one of those people who like is very, very philosophical, so to speak. Although I could keep up in the conversation. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, no, completely.
To add a divergent view on this, when I was younger, I used to be horrified of death because I thought it was the end. But now I'm convinced that if nothing happens after you die, then nothing really happens before you die.
Yeah, consider Pascal's wager, right? Consider, again, no, legitimately.
Yeah.
Like,
no, it's fine. Yeah, I was laughing at what he said. And yeah, okay. No, this is fine. Pascal's wager. I just. It's just
because quite frankly, if going into oblivion means I don't have to live around my enemies, then I would take the oblivion.
Again, I wouldn't take that. Again, whether you think, I don't know, it depends. let me ask you this. I said I denied I know much about philosophy, but again, most of it's fucking trivial anyhow. When Socrates drank from when he drank vinegar, he thought it was bitter. Not Socrates. What the fuck is his name? Not Socrates. What the hell is his name? I think it was Confucius.
We're talking about
Confucius drank the vinegar. He thought it was bitter. Buddha drank it, and Buddha thought it was bitter. Confucius found it sour, but the thing is, Lao Tzu found the vinegar sweet. Which one would you say you are? If that makes any sense, or your philosophy in general, if that makes any sense. Like, or no, let's not even go about you, Ernest.
I can tell you exactly what my philosophy is because I'm trying to write a book about it.
Oh, nice.
I believe that every action is immoral by our standards of morality, and that we should simply sit in a chair and wait to die. And most specifically, we should sit in a chair and smoke cigarettes and wait to die. We should smoke cigarettes as an active way to kill ourselves. Every action is immoral by our standards. Every action that we do is bad. So let's try to make as little action as possible, bring as much pleasure to ourselves as we can via smoking cigarettes, and kill ourselves as quickly as we can via smoking cigarettes. I don't believe in... I'm a pessimist. I don't believe in anything that anybody is trying to tell us right now about how we should live our lives. Because they're all coming from this idea that they're somehow virtuous.
They are.
And that's bullshit. You're all a bunch of monsters. Every single one of you. You, me, and all you assholes listening. You're a bunch of monsters. You're bad. So, I'll sit in a chair and smoke cigarettes. Thank you. I'll sit on my stream and say the N-word. You know,
how virtuous
I'll figure
of
it
you.
out.
How virtuous of you.
No, it's not virtuous at all. I think that I'm a bad person. But I know I'm a bad person.
Well, at least that's virtuous as well. What I'm trying to get across here is not necessarily to be passive aggressive or to fuck with people.
No, I get.
But again, virtue doesn't mean shit in a multicultural society. It doesn't. It doesn't.
It has nothing to do with that. It really has nothing to do with that. I mean, like, if we really look at like the world.
Well, again. I don't think everything I do is trying to avoid death. In fact, I've embraced death. In fact,
but that's a cope.
Nah, I have.
What do you do? You've built an identity around yourself. That's social heroism, as Becker would put it. You've created this idea that you're somehow a radical, that you're somehow different. I do the same thing. We all do these things. These are unavoidable circumstances.
In some cases, I'm different. In some cases, I'm not. But I don't think I've. Well, I mean, it is the Dinner
building
podcast, but that's more of a tongue-in-cheek joke than it is actually an identity.
Building an identity around oneself, a sense of self and an ego, is social heroism. Because ultimately what we really are people that were thrown here like everything else, like a worm or a bird. Everything. We were thrown here, sat in a field, and we were told, fine, exist. And that would be fine if we did not have the evolutionary... it's an amazing thing. Consciousness. It's an amazing thing. What consciousness is a predatory tool that we have that has built this entire world. We can, as human beings, effectively see the future.
May I ask a question?
Dogs cannot. Yeah, sure. One sec. Dogs cannot see 3 steps ahead the way that human beings can. We can't do that. We can imagine what might happen. We can see the future. Other animals can't. That was our evolutionary tool that made us able to do this. Now, it became kind of a misstep and a really bad thing in that we created gods. We did this whole thing. No one, there's not a dog that feels it needs a purpose in life, but both of us feel that we have to have a fucking purpose. and it's truly
Matthew,
horrible.
So like Matthew McConaughey from how should you say it? The fucking True Detective. Are we talking?
Right? Yeah, I'm tired of hearing about True Detective because that was completely stolen from Schopenhauer and Thomas Ligotti. They completely stole from that, but yes, completely. That is actually from pessimistic philosophy before they wrote a TV show about it. But yes, exactly that.
Okay, so I have a question, and this is my question from earlier. You said that consciousness is predatory. Could you elaborate on that?
Sure. Yeah, consciousness is predatory because it insists upon itself. Consciousness is predatory because it needs to.
I'm sorry. Before you continue, I don't know what your definition of consciousness is.
Okay, so consciousness is, at least in my idea, is knowing that you're going to die.
Hang on.
Okay. What?
When you say no, when you say your idea of consciousness, this is a personal definition of consciousness for yourself. Is this also shared with Ernest Becker, or is this shared with the source material that you're talking about?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so who would I look? Would it be Ernest Becker who I'd go to?
Schopenhauer.
Okay, so I'd look at Schopenhauer, and this consciousness is predatory approach. Okay, go on.
No. That's my own phrase.
That's your own phrasing. Okay.
Right.
So continue with your elaborating on that, please.
So if we were to go back to your question of my definition of what Schopenhauer's consciousness is predatory is mine. That one's my phrase. But to say that what is conscious, it would be that it is something that is aware that it's going to die, and that you're going to get closer to Schopenhauer on that type of thing. The reason that, in my opinion, that consciousness is predatory is because it insists that it is important and that we are important. And this is where you're going to get way away from Schopenhauer. This is where you're going to go way, way, way away from, Kierkegaard and all of those guys, and more into my thing, and more into kind of like a Philip Mainlander way of thinking, because this gets real metaphysical. We need to destroy in order to prove to ourselves that we are alive. There is no way that there is one person on this planet that doesn't destroy in some way just to know that they are alive. But we do it in very simple ways. I need coffee beans. I need, to dunk on somebody on the internet, all of this. Human beings have found new and very creative ways to be destructive. And yet we came up with a new morality. I don't think there's anything immoral about what people do. And I don't think there's anything unnatural about what people do. Because I believe that we've been working towards this. We've found new ways to be awful. Everything is destruction. Like, all of actual life is destruction. We have to do this in order to acknowledge that we're real. I also might be too drunk, so if I'm not answering these questions great, I'm very sorry, and I will try doing a better job.
Well, let me just say this. Well, you said a lot, and I'm gonna continue. We're still, by the way, we're still going live. We're still on live on DLive as well as Trovo.
Sure. Great.
So the cool thing about
Trovo,
this,
though, it's called Trovo, though. I don't know why you call it Trovo. Maybe you're right, though. Maybe you're right.
I don't know. Trovo.
I call it Trovo. I'm on Trovo.
Right.
Trovo,
We're also we're on DLive as well, ladies and gentlemen. And the cool thing about Trovo is that you get to back up the you can back up your streams, and they store it for you. You can download it. You can download
this will be on Apple and iTunes and where other podcasts have. But you didn't do that. You don't do that, do you?
I do not have access to
God
Apple.
damn it!
Why? Why?
Upload it to Anchor or something like that.
Why? Okay, first off, why would I?
I'm trying to help you.
No, dude. With all due respect, I don't. Some of the things I've done, like I tried to use. What was it? I don't know. Well, you're right. I should be on more stuff. I should add stuff more often. And
I legitimately just the other day was watching your stream, and I sent Matt Forney a message. I was like, "Why the fuck isn't Dashing Rogue a bigger guy? He's like the best spaz ever."
Maybe I am. Maybe I ain't. Again, I don't care if I'm a spaz. At least I'm not normal. And and I'll tell you, normal is not always a good thing either, especially in a culture war.
I think you're the best spaz ever. I'm like, why the fuck isn't this guy a bigger guy? He's the best spaz.
Spaz 12. But yeah,
dude, I'm a spaz type. Don't worry about it. I'm a spaz.
I'm a clever girl. Yeah.
But yeah, hit me with the question. I'm sorry, Luke, that I'm cutting you out of the conversation.
Well, let me just say this: we're both struggling very hard because we're struggling between how she say it, being drunk and being high, and we're fighting each other right now.
No.
Conscious predatory.
I was fighting you. You'd know it.
No, conscious. You said consciousness is predatory. You said that a lot of this, a lot of the issues regarding.
Did I make sense of what I'm saying? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, there are certain things. There are certain things I disagree with you upon. I simply don't believe that consciousness is always predatory. I think consciousness wants to know more. It wants to learn more.
No. That's what people might want, but consciousness itself is a neutral kind of thing. But it's like a weed that grows on something. It's an infection because.
Are we talking when we talk about consciousness? Is this more of a metaphysical concept, or are we talking more in the sense of like a immaterial concept, such as, my brain, I got hand to head and I found Jesus and that type. Not to get too, not to bash Jesus or Christianity, but more of an idea of, I just found out an idea. Okay, cool. That sounds like a good idea. That's cool. Oh, that's stupid. It's sort of like an observer, or is it more like a
it just is. It's the fact that if something knows it's going to die, that's what consciousness is.
I don't.
If something.
Okay, I don't think that that's exclusively it. I think that consciousness is like a program or a machine, if you will. The way people can't.
What sparks the machine? Because it's
electricity.
That's actually technically true.
Machines aren't really conscious, though. The automatic definition of consciousness I see is characterized by or having an awareness of one's environment and one's own experiences, sensations, and thoughts.
Which is, what is the motivating factor behind that? Anxiety of death.
Is it?
How would you? I don't think it is. I don't think it is. And if it is, it could be one. It could be one motive. It could be multiple motives.
My entire philosophy is based around the idea that I think that is the one motivator towards everything. Well, that's why things act the way that they are.
Couldn't you then argue then that that's like we only exist to fuck as well? You could. But is that mutually exclusive to your concept?
No. Because to exist to fuck, which you're talking about Hobbes, with that, it's people fuck because it's a denial of death.
No. I asked you if it's mutually exclusive. You said yes, it is mutually exclusive.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, I've been drinking 1,000 beers.
Well, maybe I may be high as a kite, but at least I'm coherent.
You can't catch me on semantics. I'm too drunk.
Okay. You're absolutely right. And that's why, here on the Digital Renegade podcast, there are people who get triggered by words, sentences, and paragraphs. That being said, could you clarify what you meant?
Sure. I think that like anything that if we go back to, because I mean, I think Hobbes was a fool as well, but he made a lot of good points. To say that man only exists to fuck, is
I never said it was only existent to fuck. I simply
I
said
never
that.
said.
I never
said that. You said that.
Well, yeah, but so since we brought the Hobbes, I have to play this clip now.
Okay.
Locke's philosophy is often understood in opposition to his contemporary Thomas Hobbes, who proposed that all men are created dicks, and rather than a blank state, we're all born with an overpowering drive for self-interest, and without a strong authoritarian rule, people descend into a race of squabbling cave people.
Again.
People do that. I'm sorry. I've watched them do it. Have you seen Congress?
And they're not cave people, but I do think that.
Are you kidding me, dude? If you let them beat each other with sticks, they would.
They have in the past.
Exactly.
I wouldn't say they're cave people. I think that the notion of
they're all cave people.
No, I don't think so. I think there's a higher function of consciousness.
I think that's an insult. I think that's an insult to cave people.
Well, I think there are higher functions of consciousness going on in that room besides I want to fuck him, I want to kill him.
And there is. It's called manipulation and sociopathy, and that's what they do because people have evolved past, like they've grown to make a new Hobbes style of man. Like all people do is try to fuck each other over. All right. Like, that's all people do. They just try to fuck each other.
All people do. Okay, when you say people, are you saying generally speaking? Because I could point to tribalism in the fucking animal kingdom and they could say they're fucking people over, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're fucking people over for the simple fact that they want to fuck and they want to fuck and they want to reproduce. That is not the only reason they want to fuck people over. Okay.
Listen, it does really come down to the fact that the only reason people want to fuck is because they want to leave a legacy, and that people do fuck each other over because they want to be the bigger man. They want that. They're trying to find their own type of meaning in life, their own type of heroism. It's a disgusting, horrible world we live in. I mean, I would love to live in your world where there's God and crap like that. But at the end of the day, these people suck, and you're just sitting there flicking a goddamn Zippo lighter around. Or a gun. Please be a Zippo lighter.
Wait.
Is it a gun? You doing a gun?
This is my fucking knife. I'm just flicking
okay.
I'm flicking my knife. I'm sorry. I'm listening to you. Okay, hey, I'm a spaz. Wait till I get spaz 12.
You are such a spaz, dude. But you rule. Like, I mean, you definitely rule. I like you. And,
nah, it's all good, bro. Don't worry about it.
But no, like these people, like they all need a legacy. They need the social heroism. They need the whole goddamn thing. And that's why people fuck. That's why they make kids. The reason people fuck is to feel dominant, which is a bit of personal heroism. Okay. This is, you need to feel as if there's a meaning to your life. Now, on the opposite end of things is, and I don't know if this is a good thing or not, and I'm not a big fan of Alan Watts or anything like that, but I do believe in completely stripping oneself of ego. I don't believe that ego is a good thing. I think we should sit in a chair and die.
When did you shower? When was the last time you showered? I'm not saying that to insult you.
No. I take 2 showers a day.
Okay, so
I'm extremely clean shaven.
That's good.
Like
that's very that's very good, specifically because that is part of your ego. If you didn't have an ego, if you had no ego whatsoever, you wouldn't care if you smelled like piss. You really wouldn't care. The function of the ego is to protect the self. That's the ultimate objective of it. The problem here is when you have an unhealthy ego, it basically what you're going to see is enemies everywhere. It's the Hobbesian nightmare. Now, that may very well be the case, but that doesn't mean you're trying to always, fuck and have sex all the time, and that doesn't necessarily mean that's the only reason. Okay.
I think you might be wrong because I think that people have evolved to the point that just shaving and taking showers and all of that is just so convenient that is what you're supposed to do. And if anything,
So this is more. So would you consider this more like the beautiful ones from the experiments? What the fuck is it called? The Mouse Utopia experiments, where the beautiful ones are just, all they do is they're. Do you know what the beautiful ones are, Luke? Or
no,
actually,
okay. I'm gonna jump in here. I have no fucking idea what you're talking about.
Okay, so from the Mouse Utopia experiments, there was this notion that they gave the mice all the food, all the resources they wanted, and there were no predators. And what happened? Well, after a few generations, eventually what happened was they started seeing issues regarding, I believe it was like certain behavioral patterns changed. So it's like some of the mice became homosexuals. Some of the mice started becoming, very hedonist. They'd have multiple kids, but they would never care for them. But one of them was
mice rock.
Well, one of them,
they're just gay single dads.
Well, it could be worse, because then you have the issues regarding the beautiful ones, and the beautiful ones were these males. They were these. Can I finish? I'll let.
I was hoping you're gonna let me do jokes, but yeah, that's fine.
Well, again, we're already a couple layers above the whole philosophical concept. So let me just tap it off for a second.
All right, it's fine.
So the whole purpose,
you just won't be that funny later.
That's fine. I'm willing to take it. At the end of the day, the whole issue here is that you're saying that the beautiful ones were essentially these mice that basically just they just sat in the corner and they didn't fight and interact with anybody, just cleaned themselves. They just sat there and cleaned themselves. They never interacted with anybody. They were very weak, and they just cleaned themselves until they died. So is that what you're saying? A lot of people are in that regard. Like all they're doing is grooming themselves because that's something. I don't know. No, it's not. Hold on. Hang on. 1 second. Okay. No. You're that was my example. That was my example of what you were. I didn't say. I'm not going to straw man you. I'm actually trying to steel man you here. Really high. You're both drunk. We're both kind of out there. But
no, I think
that was what I was about. That was my conspiracy. I was saying, is it like the Mouse Utopia experiments? You didn't know what that was. I explained to you what the beautiful ones were as a result. Is it similar to what you were talking about? The way I described the beautiful ones. I'm sorry, I'm going off on tangents here.
What I just wanted to say, like the scientists come back and they're like, "The hell's going on with these goddamn mice with hipster glasses on?"
I don't.
They have a gated community now. No, I mean I think what people are doing is truly terrible to themselves.
Well, so, I have to know what you mean by people, and I have to know what you mean by to them terrible.
They're very, very decadent. Yeah. I think that's fair.
Again, I don't know. I don't know about that.
Again, if you spend every day all I'm saying is if you spend every day of your life trying to manufacture a meaning, it's not going to work for you.
It worked for so far, but I mean, maybe that's as far as enough. I mean, you don't have to solve the meaning of life. You just have to give life meaning.
Yeah,
and that's maybe the spaz, like trying to do the whole Christmas special thing. But
you're really stuck on that spaz thing. I said it as a compliment.
No. Don't get me wrong. I like it. I kind of like it. It describes me very well. But I don't know. It's very.
Well, I'm the same goddamn thing. I'm a spaz. I've made a whole goddamn career out of it being a spaz.
Hey, man, I'll believe you. I believe you. But anyhow. No, but yeah. I mean, I think that life is more simple and a little bit more complex than just I just want to fuck it and I just want to kill it. I mean, that's. No. And I know that's a very oversimplification of what you're talking about.
Okay, what makes you hold on. What makes you think that life is more complicated? I mean, it's very very straightforward.
Well, first off, you have laws. I mean, there's a reason why I don't just go down to
the fucking... that's shit. That's people. That's what people look. Two worms were sat in the field, and the first one said, "I don't want you to attack me." and I don't want to attack you, and I'm really worried about those birds up in the sky. So let's set up a court. All right? These are laws. Who cares? They're made up bullshit. You can break them, by the way. I don't. But you can break them. You can go drive drunk. And if they catch you up, yeah, then it's trouble for you, but
you can speak without
just go break
speaking.
them.
You can speak without speaking, though, right?
Yeah, I guess you could.
I don't know why. I mean, worms don't have any mouths, and they don't have higher consciousness like you and I do, but yet they fuck and they kill.
Okay,
Granted,
hold on.
Yeah,
I was just using them as an example. Like, I mean, they
it's not
obviously they didn't set up. Obviously, they didn't set up court.
It's not a comparable example. I mean, maybe if
okay,
you use
fine.
Primates.
Here.
Primates would be an example I would use. That's if you want to go the evolutionary route. Although,
there were two men like you and I sitting in a field, and we agreed that hitting each other with rocks was wrong. And we thought, I don't want you to fuck my wife, and I'm not going to fuck your wife. So we set up the court. So there you go. But it's more funny to do it with worms and birds. Because the thing is, we are just worms sitting out here in the field waiting to be plucked up by death. But you don't want that. As soon as the first guy came back and was like, oh, concerned about what happened when I go die, sleep forever. People started being very concerned about that shit. And that's why we thought, I'll live forever. I will build a big rock tower. I will do this.
I don't.
And
I mean, I don't.
You think that you don't, but the thing is, what do
you don't know what I'm thinking. You don't know what I'm thinking. But in reality, again, I'll give you an example why I wouldn't just go down to the liquor store and fucking rape that redhead or fucking slit her throat or something. Because that's
insane.
I know it's insane. But one of the reasons why well, first off,
idea though.
I'm not gonna. I ain't gonna do it. I ain't gonna do it. But in reality, the issue why I don't do it is, one, it's wrong, it's immoral. That person has a right to live, and they have a right to life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness and property. Yeah. Yes, that's what it originally was. Two, at the same time, I wouldn't be able to live it down. Okay, I wouldn't be able to live it down just killing an innocent like that. Two, three, I should say. Sorry about that. Three, I actually care about what people think of me, believe it or not. To a certain degree, I do care about what people think about me.
That's all social heroism.
Okay, so what's your definition of social heroism?
It's not my definition. It's Ernest Becker's definition.
Okay, so what's his definition?
Standing in society. This is not as I'm not good at this, but standing in society is part of social heroism. You need to find meaning, as do I. We all fall under this. I myself included. 1,000 times. We find our heroism in life, our purpose in life, into being a good person in society. Many of us do it in being a bad person in society. All of this is like, it's not a thing we have to strive for. It's a thing that is naturally thrown at us. Like, terror management is not, and anything of the works of Ernest Becker is not an imaginative thing of like moral philosophy. It's not like Hobbes is. I mean, we can get to that 1,000 times, but everyone falls into this. Is what it is. Everyone falls into the social heroism block. Being a good part. I mean, look, I'm telling you right now, I am this. I just want to be a good person for society. I don't want to, commit crimes. I don't go and commit crimes.
I don't want to be
social heroism.
I don't want to commit crimes because of my own self-interest is one, but also the fact that I don't want to. Again, is self-interest calculated in this definition?
Yes. The fact that I want to be a good person is my self-interest. It's a moral question. The fact that I want to be a good person is my self-interest, which is moral heroism, or which is social heroism.
Well, now hang on. Okay, so you're talking about risk management. This is risk management, terror management theory, right?
Sure. Terror management, yes.
Because I'm thinking in regards of risk management on this one, because it's not that I'm going to go down there and slit the throat because it's wrong, but also because it's against the law, also because I couldn't live with myself, but also because I couldn't, I would care what other people think. I'd also think about the fact that I want to bring honor to my name, going outside of the whole notion of I want to fuck it, I want to kill it. I also want to be able to have a legacy, be remembered. There is a certain level of narcissism to why I came back to the fucking Valley, why I came back to the fucking, California, because I don't want to give up, my legacy. And, so far my legacy is I grew up here and the world changed and I'm in the middle of a war and I'm surrounded by the enemy. And therefore, I could very well just go run into fucking, Arizona or God knows where else in the world, get laid and live a heathenistic life. I have the knowledge. I have the power. For fuck's sake, at some point, we're going to go into global lockdown again, this whole COVID crap. And then, maybe we will, maybe we won't. I don't fucking know. But I know this. I could definitely work from remote. I've done it before. I have a very good business for myself.
Think about what you're saying.
Yeah?
You're going me. You and everybody else, pal. That's what we do.
Not everybody else. I mean, again,
no man is virtuous.
My main point is I could leave and go anywhere I want. I could leave. Yeah,
buddy. Anywhere you go.
But I choose to come here. I choose
social heroism.
No, it's not social heroism.
It is. If you like, you got to check out Becker. It is. It's social heroism. You are leading your own life in the fact that you're like, I am the main character of my own life. We all seek heroism. That's because we have to. That's the way that we are.
No.
You're the main character in your own life, are you not?
And no, not always. Not always. Sometimes I have to, say, okay, this doctor knows how to fix me up. I have to trust him.
That's not what that has nothing to. He's a fucking character who's bandaging you up. We're all the main characters in our own life.
So is Ernest Becker the main character of your life?
I'm the main character of my life. Ernest
Why
Becker
the fuck do you care about Ernest Becker then? Who gives a fuck?
Well, because
seriously, who cares? Like, again,
that's a good question.
You can't prove outside. You can't prove other people are conscious. That's an article of faith. We haven't discovered consciousness. What?
That's solipsism. The whole fucking idea that I am the only. I think, therefore, I am. That's solipsism.
No, you can't. But at the same time, our body is based on certain heuristics, and we're adapted to this planet. We are. That's one. One. Yeah, I know. However, the issue here is that if we're all adapted to this planet, I'm sorry.
I know it's a tough one. No, I appreciate you talking to me about it because I really do like it.
No, it is. But we're adapted to this planet based on certain sets of heuristics, not necessarily based on logic and reason. But we also have logic and reason. So we have the ability to, say, oh, this woman is beautiful. She has a very curvy body, and she looks like she could have many children. I don't want to one kill it, one fuck it, or I have the ability to respect that person's rights, consciousness, and have faith, even though I can never know. I can never know.
What did I say that really made you focus on the kill it or fuck it idea of things?
Well, I think it was the notion of the predatory notion of consciousness. I think that you're starting with a very, very dangerous notion there.
No ideas are dangerous.
I wouldn't.
Go ahead.
Although I wouldn't call it dangerous. I just has a lot of presuppositions behind it.
Yeah, because
it does.
Because again, we have well, I don't like the way you describe it. That's all.
Okay.
Because
what do you particularly not like about it? Because I do think that
predatory provides that there's a prey. There's prey behind something. So you're consuming something. You're consuming information, and if you're consuming information,
we consume ourselves with consciousness.
I don't know what the hell you're talking about with this consciousness stuff. I don't. I mean, you're it's like a very Zen Buddhist or like New Age definition of consciousness.
I wouldn't call it that. But
I mean,
like it is akin to.
I'd have to read his book at some. What'd you say?
I would say that. I mean, pessimism is very akin to Buddhism. I would say Thomas Ligotti. Just go read Thomas Ligotti's The Conspiracy Against the Human Race. I think might be the biggest rundown that would be good. I intend to do a better version of that, but no, I think that consciousness is predatory upon ourselves. But I can understand why this is annoying. I would also like to one day talk to you about how free will is bullshit and determinism is probably the most likely thing. But
that's it's all good, man. It's all good. We can have you on another time. I think this is actually very interesting. My main concern is that the notion that you use predatory is one I don't like. I would say that it's omnivorian in nature.
What does that mean?
Well, omnivore comes from there's carnivore and there is omnivores.
Right, now, I get that.
So if our consciousness is simply to consume, I would agree with your definition on that, is to consume information, to consume data. But also I would argue it's to make data, it's to create data, to create life, not just for it to exist, but also how can I explain
No. You're making perfect sense. Keep going. No. I get where you're coming from. I disagree, but like I get where you're coming from. I mean, that's actually a really great point.
No, because again, people like the people who made Superman, people who made Batman, people who made characters and heroes and things like that. They, even though they may die, their characters may live on. Their memes may live on.
But the why of what we make. Like the reason we make things is
no.
This
is where we get into a concept that a lot of leftists like to talk. It's called the death of the author. Have you ever heard of it?
Yeah.
Okay, so do you know what it's about?
Hold on. The death of the author is when the author doesn't take himself seriously and just makes something. I might be wrong. Makes an author or makes a story not about himself, but basically ridiculing himself. Am I wrong?
Well, let's look at this. You want to look at? Can you read off the information from Wikipedia, Luke? Just so we're both all checking it. Death of the Author is an essay, 1967 essay by French.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the concept.
Yeah, the concept of death of the author. This is what we're talking about. That's the whole notion of it. It's the essay. It's by Roland Barthes, I think it's called. I'm probably butchering that. He argues against the traditional literary criticism, practicing incorporating the intentions and biographical context of an author. So, for example, you couldn't say that an author, let's say like Tolkien, wasn't influenced by his life in the trenches or in World War I or his Roman Catholic. Was it Roman Catholic? It was Christian background. I'm not trying to sure if he's Roman Catholic or not.
Catholic. Jewish.
Wait, yeah. Okay, so
what? God damn you, Wikipedia early life.
No, but like basically.
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, it's all right. Don't worry about it. No, but basically the notion is that you as an author, you cannot escape your upbringing and project your morals onto that character.
Yeah.
Right.
But so no, I don't think there's anything the shit that I'm writing. I 100% Every philosopher projects himself onto his work.
Well, sometimes he does, but there's no way you can know for certain until that person says so.
Name one philosopher that didn't project himself onto the work.
Every philosophy is basically.
Philosophers are irrelevant. Philosophers as a topic is irrelevant, or a category is irrelevant. Simply put, because you could be a writer and not necessarily be. And not necessarily, I don't know. Is J.R.R. Tolkien a philosopher? How about? Okay, well, what about Neil Gaiman?
Yeah. Also, I disagree with him about stuff. But
Okay.
yeah, he's a fantasy writer. But
okay. I think Stephen Molly. We could all agree he's a famous philosopher.
Yeah.
What about that fucking Harry Potter chick? What the fuck is her name?
J.K. Rowling. Yeah.
She must also be a philosopher then.
Yeah, in a way, yeah.
Okay,
absolutely.
but they're all writers, though.
Well, the thing is,
every writer.
The thing is, like, all philosophies and all philosophers are basically forms of creationism. They have their conclusions, and they're working backward to try to justify it, when really all they're doing is trying to justify their conclusion.
Yes,
and
completely, 100%.
And that's the biggest problem with, like, I mean, the thing you can take about all philosophies is that you can find them coalescing. Because I find myself very aligned with, like, oddly enough, between Ayn Rand and Descartes. Just because I'm a rationalist myself, and so I find them compatible. But there's not. It's not. It probably is just an avenue to the truth, an avenue to the actual truth.
You got to get over Descartes, though. He was a fucking, he was a real piece of shit. But that rules. Yeah, that rules.
But to change the subject slightly about what the purpose of life is. I would say that, like, consciousness doesn't really bring the predatory nature of us. It brings both the real dilemma of justification, certainty, and justification.
No.
Because if we're conscious, we have, like, is there a purpose? Like, is there anything to this consciousness? Is there, like, is
you're
there
missing?
To do?
And to bring up the point here, predatory I don't like the term predatory, but omnivorian makes sense because you could consume content without being destructive. You can consume content without hurting anybody or harming anybody. Or consuming it. You can consume information and produce information. So I don't think that makes any sense.
I'm not talking about consciousness as something. As an action, I'm looking at consciousness as what it is.
And I don't agree with that statement, so we can't go any further in that regard. I don't think that's what consciousness is. I'm sorry.
No, you're thinking of consciousness as an action, whereas I'm thinking consciousness.
No, you don't know what you don't. I'm only going after what you said.
Well, I mean, we do agree that consciousness is about self-awareness, right?
Right, but I'm not thinking of consciousness as an action. I'm thinking of it as something that is like an attribute that is applied to people. And I think that it, as an attribute that is applied to people is, like, I think of it like kind of like when you like get a new piece of armor in a game or something.
If it's an attribute, who's you?
Any of us. I was using the royal you, but any of us, like me.
So that means that, again, this is the problem when it comes to solipsism. First off, I acknowledge you exist. I'm not a solipsist, but you don't know what I'm thinking in that regard. You don't know how I process information. You don't know how I categorize information. You don't know what I value. You don't know anything about me. For all you know, I'm a blank slate until otherwise. For all you know, I could be a total shithead, or I could be a great guy. And just like, you could be very funny and you could be very, I don't know enough about you yet to find out much more. But so far, actually, hold on, hang on. You're very philosophically sound. Not philosophically sound. What's the terminology? You like philosophy and you also like to get high and drunk. So amen. You're a brother of mine.
What I'm saying is, like, okay, think of it this way. Like, you're creating a character, right? And then one of the things that you get to add to your character, like you get an armor that you could put them on, and you get +1, consciousness.
I get this sounds so new age. Can I let me ask you a question? What is my heart chakra? A heart chakra stone?
I'm not.
No, it does. It really does.
Listen, I'm trying to dumb down everything that I'm saying about this. And it'll be a great book. It'll be a great book. It'll be a bestseller and whatever. And then people have to be like the neo-Nazi that knew about humanity, but because people think I'm a Nazi. But
I don't think you are. For what
no,
it's
I'm
worth.
not. I'm not. Good God, I'm not at all. The Nazis were fucking retarded. But
amen, brother.
They're like, oh, we don't know how money works. I'm like, you guys got to figure out how money. Oh, they lost the war, but that's too stupid.
Do you think they lost the war because they couldn't pay their troops enough?
Kind of.
Oh yeah, I mean, you could argue that the whole Lebensraum shit, but I mean, how did they exactly do that? Like, what was the actual like contract written out? I actually like to know this. Like, were they saying like for every man and officer, do you get like an acre or some shit like that? Like, how are they like dueling it out?
Dude,
I'd like to know.
Dude, I have no fucking idea. All I know is they're real retarded.
Well,
they are socialists.
Yeah, and so were the Italians kind of as well. I mean, like, fascism is a thing and National Socialism is a thing, and it's like, it's just a dumbass idea. It doesn't work. Some of it could work, but it's like nobody's happy. It's like, oh, we got this thing. It's called National Socialism. It's like, oh, cool. We go, yeah. You're not gonna be happy though. So I don't know, and nobody has any. Look. People aren't numbers, and they're not.
I agree with you on that.
It's an issue, but I forgot what I was talking about. God damn it! Now I've gotten to
creating a character with armor.
Why did my point have to end up being that the Nazis were bad? What the fuck was I talking about?
You were trying to talk about like have a character has a fictional character has armor or attribute.
Oh yeah. Thank you.
And
thank you.
Yeah, you were talking.
No, hold on.
I want to hear this analogy.
Yeah, go on.
Okay, so let's say you're making a goddamn character in Skyrim, and then you get a piece of armor, and it's +1 consciousness. I'm looking at consciousness as an attribute instead of something that is actually applied to people. Consciousness itself is actually predatory. It is not that the person is predatory, it's that it is an attribute that is added to people that, yeah, you get to be able to see the future, but guess the fuck what happens? You now start worrying about if there is a god and what happens when you die. A dog doesn't think like that. Don't put that armor on the dog, but you put it on a person, and there you go. That's what happens. It's a predatory attribute.
Well,
because it creates some type of thing. Because what we do, what our evolutionary aspect is that made us this thing, is that we can see the future. And it's huge. But the problem is, man, we really started fucking killing each other over it. We got Nazis out of it.
Have you seen Stefan Molyneux's The History of Your Enslavement?
No, I don't. I don't pay attention to the guy. I mean, I think he's a fine person or whatever. But
I was gonna say it does sound very similar to Stefan Molyneux's original. It does sound like the whole history of enslavement. I remember watching that, and I remember that. I didn't even know he was Stefan Molyneux at the time, and I just said, "Oh, that's kind of cool." And then I eventually, like 2 years later, I found out, "Oh, that's Stefan Molyneux's video, huh?" Now I know why they get the idea of that whole cult shit. Because it really does come on. No, it comes off like very cult-like. And I sent it to him. Said, you know what, Luke? We're still live. This is the cool part about having Digital Renegade podcast. We can do it live. Do it.
And how you can be free. Like all animals, human beings want to dominate and exploit the resources around them. At first, we mostly hunted and fished and ate off the land, but then something magical and terrible happened to our minds.
Yes.
We became, alone among the animals, afraid of death and of future loss. And this was the start of a great tragedy and an even greater possibility.
Send me this.
You see, when we become afraid of death, of injury and imprisonment, we become controllable and so valuable in a way that no other resource could ever be. The greatest resource for any human being to control is not natural resources or tools or animals or land, but other human beings. You can frighten an animal because animals are afraid of pain in the moment, but you cannot frighten an animal with a loss of liberty, with torture or imprisonment in the future, because animals have very little sense of tomorrow. You cannot threaten a cow with torture or a sheep with death. You cannot swing a sword at a tree and scream at it to produce more fruit, or hold a burning torch to a field and demand more wheat. You cannot get more eggs by threatening a hen, but you can get a man to give you his eggs by threatening him. This human farming has been the most profitable and destructive occupation throughout history, and it is now reaching its destructive climax. Human society cannot be rationally understood until it is seen for what it is: a series of farms where human farmers own human livestock. Some people get confused because governments provide healthcare and water and education and roads, and thus imagine that there is some benevolence at work. Nothing could be further from the reality. Farmers provide healthcare and irrigation and training to their livestock. Some people get confused because we are allowed certain liberties and thus imagine that our governments protect our freedoms. But farmers plant their crops a certain distance apart to increase their yields, and will allow certain animals larger stalls or fields if it means they will produce more meat and milk. In your country, your tax farm, your farmer grants you certain freedoms, not because he cares about your liberties, but because he wants to increase his profits.
Well, the whole thing is basically a defense of anarcho-capitalism, which I appreciate, but of course, at the end of the day, statism is far more efficient than anarchism.
It sounds like slam poetry. It really does sound like some SJW.
Okay, I'm sorry. Name one thing that's wrong about that. He's completely right from what I heard. Now, is that the way we should live? Probably, but it's true.
No, it's a perspective. If I buy into the definitions that you're talking about, but even then, again, I don't. Again, you use the terms like, oh, it's a farm. No, it could be a collect. That implies that we're so many different things.
Okay, it could be a collective. It could be a collective, but it's not.
It could be a collect. It could be a collective in the sense of
but
one. We're the animals. It could be one. We're the farmers who help. Like we all farm each other, which I think is a very possible term. I mean, going back to the notion of what you said.
So you think the country's doing good work right now, right? Everything's working out, and it always has.
Oh, no, well, I have no sort of representation. I'm convinced.
Now, hang on. I'm doing very well right now. You might not be doing.
You're just doing as well as they let you do, buddy. I don't have to work.
Buddy. Yeah. Okay. You don't have to work, but at the same time, you have money. Do you have money? I assume you have money.
I'm fine. Yeah, I'm doing okay. And
well, that's how you describe it. Without looking at your stock portfolio or anything, I wouldn't be able to gauge it. These are just words. These are just ideas.
Guess what? No, but that's not a definition of human beings doing good. Just because you've got some beans to eat in the morning doesn't mean you're doing good.
In the utilitarian sense, it can be.
Utilitarians.
No, utilitarian.
Are you really a utilitarian? I want to fucking hit you.
I am. Again, there's a little.
It's the utilitarians and
it's a little bit of that utilitarianism. It's a little bit of how should you say it? The hedonism. It's a little bit of Plato, a little bit of country, a little bit of rock and roll.
Fuck you. There's two types of people. I'm a pessimist. There are two types of people that I real hate. Utilitarians and goddamn Stoics. You're a bunch of pieces of fucking shit who can't.
What about the cynics? What about them? What about cynics?
I love the cynics.
Why
would I love the cynics? Oh my god.
Well, I'm just saying.
It's okay. No, fuck you.
Well, let me ask you a question. Besides, what the hell's his name? Not Diogenes. besides Diogenes, what exactly? Who cynic do you? What cynic do you follow? Besides Diogenes.
Every guy on Twitter.
Okay, but every guy on Twitter may very well heard of cynicism because of Diogenes or what have you.
No, they didn't. They don't know who Diogenes is.
The first cynic. The first cynic.
Cynicism is a natural state of people at this point. They're very displeasured with everything that they're having to deal with. They look at everything through the point of, I hate the media. I hate what average people are. That is cynicism. That is cynicism. It is kind of learned helplessness. Yeah, I mean, that is true. But they're angry. They're like an angry dog that spits out against
I don't think so. I don't fucking think so about that. If that were the case...
You're too hopeful. You're too fucking hopeful.
Look,
do you know what seriously, do you know what the average person is like now? They're truly terrible. That is a cynical thought. Everyone is so mean to each other and terrible to one another now that they're all cynics. They're all pieces of shit. And then if they're not cynics, the guys who we call cool people, they're just stoics now, which is an ideology of conquered people. It's ironically enough, Seneca, which he wasn't a cynic, but funny enough name for that. These people don't like each other. And if they aren't lashing out with venom against one another, what they're doing is they're just pretending that this isn't happening. The world around you is not fine. It's depressing. You've been thrown into a field. Congratulations. You're going to die. And it's the best thing that's ever going to happen to you.
Yep. And it might be. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe.
Death is
the
really
religious say that it is.
Well, I mean, death is the. It would if there is nothing. If there is no afterlife, then death is the end. It wouldn't really be the best thing that happens to me.
No, I don't believe that being alive is anything but a curse. I want this to end immediately at every point in my life, all through my day. I think if there was a button for me to just stop existing, I would love to do it. Existence is a curse.
Not to get. I know you're going to get very pissy about the Stoics, but
I probably will.
Yeah, well, what was? I'm trying to think. I think it was Marcus Aurelius. It may have been it might not be Marcus Aurelius. I think it might have been. Oh, who was a cynic philosopher? He said when he was basically saying, if life is so bearable, you want out, look only to your wrists. He was basically saying, kill yourself.
That was Seneca.
Seneca. Seneca, that fucker. Yeah. Why don't you just kill yourself then? I mean,
right, because I'm a pessimist. I don't kill myself, and I also dabble in existentialism. No, why don't you kill yourself? Why is some man telling me what to do?
I asked you first.
Yeah, well, that's a fair point.
Well, it's also self-inflicted murder.
Yeah, right. Which again would violate the whole notion of I just want to kill it, I just want to fuck it, I want to survive just because I'm scared of death. I ain't scared of death. I am very comfortable with my.
No, you are. That's why you won't kill. You are. That's why you won't kill yourself, and that's the reason I am as well. Pain avoidance, and I don't know. Everything I've ever experienced has basically been suffering. Why would I think that anything would be any better if I did kill myself? It comes down to pain avoidance.
I don't think so. I think that the hope of meeting, a God is one. Also to leave a legacy is another. Perhaps, maybe I want to write a book one day, and that way I'll be remembered. Maybe I just want to fucking maybe I just want to fuck it. Maybe I just want to kill it. Maybe I just want to, sex, drugs, rock and roll. There are many reasons behind Rife. Just live. Just live the best you can. Now,
there's not much to live for.
I forget what philosopher said this, but meaninglessness doesn't come from being weary of pain. It comes from being weary of pleasure.
I mean, again, you don't have. Again, you're ultimately asking, You're asking how to live.
Here, let me give you the
But the
fucking
problem
shit.
here, but here's the problem.
Let me give you the shitty version of it, of why you don't kill yourself. I'm not gonna go into Mel Sharon because he fucking rules. But let me give you the easiest one. Imagine Sisyphus happy. That's Albert Camus. Imagine Sisyphus happy. You roll the goddamn boulder up the goddamn hill.
Who is
like
who is this
Sisyphus
guy? Who's this from?
The man who was cursed by the gods to roll a boulder up a hill and had to fall down again.
No, but who came up with this bullshit again?
Albert Camus.
That faggot. Okay,
Yeah,
the postmodernist.
yeah.
Let's.
He's not a postmodernist. He's an existentialist. But yeah, he's not my favorite either. He's not a postmodern, but he's existential for sure. But yeah, imagine Sisyphus happy. That's because of the absurdity of life. Now, I don't know how familiar you are with M.L. Sharon or Sartre. They were interesting people as well. I would not call them. I'm a little butthurt that you call them postmodern. They're not postmodern. Like Foucault is postmodern, but
Well, I mean, they were a part. He says he's an anarcho-syndicalist. That's the same type of bullshit that.
I'm an anarcho-syndicalist.
You are?
I think so, probably. I mean, that's
I only ask this because if we look again, maybe this is Wikipedia talking, and maybe I'm getting false data. Again, I would have to. Again, this is using Wikipedia. We will eventually use Tay Spaghetti's website. Was it Infogalactic? Yeah, it's Infogalactic, isn't it, Luke? Where they have like his own version of Wikipedia. We could verify that as well. We'll use both because again, I'm high.
I'm Rudolph. I'm the Rudolph Rocker definition of anarcho-syndicalist.
Okay, so what I'm trying to get across here is that we're using Wikipedia. We're going off of these definitions. We're using it at face value, but we're asking Bryden questions to clarify. I only ask this because you say that he's not a postmodernist. He's not one of these. Is he a leftist? May I ask? Would you consider him a leftist?
Camus? Yeah, he was. Yeah, Camus was a leftist for sure.
Okay, because
he also criticized leftists. In one of I loved his essays. He brought up a very great point that still stands to this day. Is that he was in the 40s? I think he wrote that leftists, we're just thinking about people in the future and not people today, and that's why they were so shitty. He wrote a great essay. I forget what it was called. He wrote a great essay on that about how they just don't care about people today. They're always thinking of people in the future. Revolutionaries are bullshit. It's the truth. Revolutionaries are bullshit. But he did a very good job of that. And Mel Sharon was a little more reactionary. Also had a little problems. Read some of his essays and stuff. But of course he was a leftist. I mean, everybody then was. It was a very oppressive time of right-wing type of bullshit. Versus now, which is left-wing bullshit. Which is taking the Western world. These things are. I mean, this is just the way that life is, and life now is left-wing oppressive bullshit. That's why I hate the left wing so much. If it would have been 1940, I'd be a left-winger. I believe in liberty.
If it weren't 1940, okay, all right. I guess my question would be, what were your thoughts on prohibition? What were your thoughts on government intervention and things like that?
Government should just leave people alone.
Okay, all right.
100%. Leave people alone.
I agree with you on that. I agree.
That's right. Goddamn. Just leave them alone. Leave me alone. Goddamn it. Taxation is theft. And I don't care if people want to do fucking cocaine or do weird shit. Don't kill people. It violates the NAP.
Amen.
That's right. Goddamn libertarian fucking ANCAP stream. Fuck yes.
Yeah, well, let him have it. Let him have it. But at the same fucking time, again, I just don't like Camus. Again, Camus. There are certain things I don't agree with on him,
He's
and there are
okay.
things I agree with him on. So,
okay.
so
He
when you
wrote some
talk
good
about
books.
so
Come on.
going back to our original point, you were saying life is the whole reason I'm trying to survive is because
it's the only thing you know how to do.
It's the only thing I know. Well, no, I don't think so. I don't think so. I think that sometimes I don't know how to survive, and therefore I die.
Yep. But
That is possible.
Your entire life is based around trying to survive.
No.
Nah. People survive. People survive in order to live. They don't live to survive.
Yeah, again, just like people, they may question the meaning of life, but I'm busy giving life meaning.
I'm not. I don't think many people say anything about like trying to question the meaning of life, buddy. I don't think they do it. I think they just want to stay alive, which is to avoid death. That's all we do. I avoid death by trying to make money. I avoid death by trying to make sure the political party I like is in power. All we do is avoid death. Absolutely everything that we do, everything is based around avoiding death.
I don't know about that. Again, I don't know about that.
Then why don't you just die? But you don't because no one wants to. It's the worst thing.
Okay, but at the same time, no. I mean,
but is it?
I want to buy a house.
No, but is death the worst thing?
Well, pretty much everyone agrees with that. Now, I wouldn't. I think there are fates worse than death, and we create horror stories about them and things like that. That things can be worse than death. But no, in general, all of life is based around what's the worst thing you can do? Kill somebody. We make it pretty clear that being alive rules and not being alive sucks. That's what we do. We call even our day-to-day, in our media, we say that progress is very, very important and that it's going, which I can get into that, but because I think it's not progress. I think that I think the way people look at time is stupid, but that's for the book.
Are you a traditionalist in that regard?
Nope. I hate the traditionalists.
Well, let me define what I mean by traditionalism. It has nothing to do with Norman Rockwell and wanting to have monogamous relationships. And
no, you're talking about Dugan.
Yeah, that piece of shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, not traditionalist in Dugan in this sense, but not in this particular sense. I mean, the world does not evolve around him. I'm sorry, Dugan, it doesn't. But in all reality, I was referring to Renegade, I think his name is.
Sure.
Or, yeah, that guy, and also Julius Evola. The people, they don't believe in the concept of progress in that regard.
Right. Well, I think there are people we should look at, definitely. I don't think that time is I like that Dugan said I love this, and maybe somebody came up with it before him, but I like that we experience time in its totality. So we culturally
totality, I don't know what that is.
In its completeness, you and I, we have an idea of what happened, and we agree that you and I are talking, and we also have.
How do you spell that siftality? I don't know how to spell that.
No. Totality. That's TOTALI.
Okay.
TAL.
Sorry,
ITY. Something like that. I don't know. I'm sure I spelled it wrong. There was no T at the end. I know that. But no, we experience time as a total being, or as an event, and because we have an idea that it's I don't know, Abraham Lincoln and stuff like that. These are things that we don't question. We also experience the fact that you and I are talking, and we have a general idea of where things are going. We may not agree of what might happen, but we in general believe basically the same thing. And this is a cultural thing. This is very important to like being a person.
Okay, so then my question then becomes: we say we view the world in totality.
We view time
in totality.
Yeah.
Again, I don't think you can make that claim. I don't think you can make that
Oh,
claim.
I think it's the most fair claim that we can make, because at least in current time and our past, we in general can agree. Now, the reason that the U.S. is in such turmoil at the moment is that like we tend to disagree about what the past was and what the future should be. That doesn't negate the idea of experiencing time in its totality. It just means that there is, turmoil and problems with things. Because like time, it's how you how we experience time. I mean, it's basically bullshit. Everything, and this is postmodern. Everything is kind of bullshit. Postmodernism instead.
I wouldn't say totality in this. Again, the map isn't always the territory. I don't know what you mean by totality. I experienced time, the present, the past, the present, the future. I also experienced dreams, and that's part of my consciousness. And again, the notion of time going forward in one direction is very much a.
What? That's not based in reality. Dreams aren't based in reality.
They are. I mean, there is we know that there is some level, like we know on CAT scans that people are dreaming. That's
right.
That's materialistically speaking, we know that. Whether you think that there's something outside of that,
but that's not how. No. But that's not how you build cultures. We don't build cultures on your dreams. We build cultures on the fact that we
build off of memes.
Yeah, it's starting to be like that. Whoa. But we build it off of the fact that you and I
life,
are
liberty, pursuit of happiness. What was Lady Liberty supposed to be? What was she originally supposed to be? At some point, she's supposed to libertaria or something.
Some dumb bitch.
Some fucking Roman god with some bitch in a toga. Okay, but no, seriously, we base our lives on a lot of things outside of the material reality.
Oh,
and outside of time, even. Outside of time, even.
That's true. That's true. But we do. I mean, if we're gonna, do you really want to fight Dugan's idea of time? Because we can. I'd like to hear your argument against it.
Well, first off, I automatically said that I was dreaming. So there's a time in which I was dreaming. However, we do know
that's not your dreams are not relevant to my existence. I could watch you sleep, and that's great, but it's not relevant to my existence.
But
that's not the way in which we would build.
Where would I get my ideas from, though? Where would I get my ideas?
That's fine, but that's not how we would build a culture, and that's not a shared thing. So Dugan's idea of time is a collective idea of time.
Who gives a fuck about? Again, okay. So let's his idea and the real reality of the situation are totally irrelevant. Who cares? Like they are.
They're just They're just they're a lens in which you look through things.
So what you mean like the fucking what is it? The whole the male gaze, like that kind of lens?
No, just a lens. Okay. It's you. Okay, if you want to ever,
it could also be used as a hat.
Yeah, it could be a hat if you want.
Attack helicopter.
It could be any of that, but
can it be consistent?
It's a method in which to look through things to further dissect. And so, if we're going to further dissect anything, we must look at through a lens, right? And this is very, very postmodern. You have to first look through a lens if you're going to dissect reality. If you really want to, if you want to play this game, we can do it. But you need to first pick a lens to look through. You need to say, what are we looking for and through? Now, I'm just saying that I agree with Dugan's idea of time. But if you would, it's not lefty bullshit. Actually,
no, it's fucking Robert Anton Wilson. oh, your reality tunnels. Oh, this is how we work on a reality tunnel. And it is. Luke, pull up the Robert Anton Wilson's reality tunnels.
I'd rather just play this clip.
This is the same stoner shit.
I'd rather just play this clip to summarize it.
No.
All right.
It is stoner shit. I'll give you that. It can be stoner shit, but yeah. I meant to go do something else. It meant to go into something else, but I like to start with Dugan's idea of time, because it is a collective idea of time, which I think is I don't know. This is a problem with being philosophers. Like sometimes the dashing rogue yells at you.
All right. Well. You can, all right, go right ahead. Tell me about the collective. What do you mean by collective?
That culturally, the way, and also Luke wanted to play something, but culturally, that's the way that we look at time. Not you or I or anyone else.
I don't know what you mean by culture. I don't know what you mean by culture. I bring this up
anywhere that you live. Anywhere that you live.
Yeah, I define culture as the particular characteristics of a particular human civilization.
No, well, it's not even human civilization because we're dealing with time and we're dealing with numbers, and numbers are universal.
Well, culture.
Because
nope, time does not have to deal with numbers at all. We're like the fact that we all say July 4th rules. That place is great. I love July 4th. It's a great place to be. Yeah, okay, in China they don't care about that. That's an idea of
But it is
time.
July 4th though, right?
Yeah, and it rules. And it's July 4th of the entire world. But
it's we're not talking about whether it rules or it drools, okay? We're not interested in that. We're agreeing it's July 4th.
Right.
That's all. Okay. Whether it rules or drools and Yas are gone, the British Empire, don't get all pissy about the British Empire was losing the American colonies was not a big deal. No.
Yeah, tell China that. They don't give a shit. But
it is July 4th.
It is July 4th. That is that day. But
and everyone acknowledges it. Well, I mean, half the world the world acknowledges it. Let's just say half of it because we post Meridian and what have you. Go on.
Right. But this is how we measure time. We go, this is what happened this day. Other people don't care or can make up anything they want about it. This is what happens this day. This is in our idea of the past. We go, this is what happened. And this is in our idea of the present. We go, this is what we do. And in our idea of the future, we go, next year we're going to do the same shit. So that is a cultural idea of time.
I don't know about that. I mean, that's very it's very, what the hell is that movie? The Gods Must Be Crazy. Have you ever seen The Gods Must Be Crazy?
No, it sounds good though.
Okay, so you probably would have seen it because it's a fucking boomer film. Basically, what it is it's this notion that there's this African tribe and they're secluded off from everybody, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they have no concept of time whatsoever. They've never encountered anything, all right?
Sun goes up, sun goes down. Yeah.
Sun goes up, sun goes down. However, in that's those building of those white folks over there, they're like, it's just they fucking what is it? At this time they have this machine that tells them this time is this time is that, this time is that. Right?
Yeah. Okay,
so at this time and that time, we're supposed to do this, that, and the other. Go to work, get up, sleep. That's the notion behind it. Now, and the Gods Must Be Crazy. The whole notion is that these people live alone; they're by themselves, and then out of the heavens above, a fucking a Coke bottle falls, and it falls, and it for whatever reason I can't remember why, the Coke bottle doesn't break. It falls out of a airplane. A guy was drinking it; he threw it down, and these people use the utility of this particular device or this particular the Coke bottle. They think it was given to them by the gods, and they they use it for various things and stuff such as that. But in any case,
So they did a story about the cargo. A funny story about the cargo cults.
Well, they not to go too deep into it, but my point is that the sort of the notion you're talking about, that time is relative to the sense that you have nothing to do all day, so therefore you literally have nothing to do all day, and nothing happens, and that it's just one day, as opposed to, okay, I see time in the sense that at this time I get here, this time I go here, that time I was there, and vice versa. Every
single day, as you know it, is you wake up and you do what you're supposed to, right? So it's allegory in the cave. All right. The only reason that we know what is a day is because that's what we've measured and we assume is a day. So it's you're sitting in a cubicle, and the only thing you're able to measure is your cubicle, and you can't study further outside of the cubicle because you've only known life within the cubicle. Mm-hmm. I think that's completely fair. This is like basic philosophy. This is real basic stuff.
It's rational. It is rational, but it doesn't mean it's empirical. I mean, that's ultimately the problem here, is that you could rationalize anything. You could rationalize totalitarianism, genocide. You could rationalize, but you can. I didn't say you. I'm saying anybody can. They can be rationally consistent. That doesn't necessarily mean that they are morally good, morally desirable. Doesn't mean we could say any value judgment on that.
I've never heard a rationally consistent justification for genocide. I actually reject morality.
Sure. There's an easy way, but you have to play with. You have to dabble with terms of it.
Well, Hitler justified it in the terms of the shrinking markets theory, but shrinking markets is BS. But that's how he justified it.
Yeah, he also liked Nietzsche a lot.
And also at the same time, he believed in the whole the shrinking of the markets. Can you play that, Luke? Pick up that shit. This is actually relevant to Dugan, by the way.
You're my favorite Spurg in the whole world.
I don't really give a damn, honestly. I don't give a
I'm complimenting you.
I would rather summarize our philosophical discussion with this clip, because this is what I'd like to look.
All right, let me hear it.
In fact, is what this class is all about. To explore how we feel about Jesus. How we handle the Christ meme in our own minds.
Yes, Professor, I'm less interested in my own mind than what it tells me about the truth.
An admirable sentiment, but after all, Socrates, what is truth?
Quid est veritas? Pontius Pilate's own words. Like Socrates, Professor, you too know your material.
Well, Thomas, the question remains, and is the central question of postmodern thought. What is truth? Now, I posit that truth is entirely subjective. It is what we ourselves make of it. In short, there is no truth.
You're serious. Well, certainly your statement contradicts itself.
In what way?
Well, you're claiming that the statement, there is no truth, is true, which cannot be so if there is no truth. If there is no truth, nothing can be true, and nothing is worth saying. We might as well stop asking questions, stop talking, stop answering questions, stop going to school.
I second that motion.
I'm going to go piss real quick, but the thing is, there's a real big difference between truth and wisdom. I'll be right back. I got to piss, dude.
Truth and wisdom.
Big difference. Big difference.
Well, I'm going to talk. Okay, go pee, but I'm going to continue talking. All right. Ah, shit. Son of a bitch. Okay. Son of a bitch. Sorry about that, Luke.
I mean, we've been going on for like 3.5. Oh, cow. 4 hours?
Fuck.
Wait, 8?
Jeez,
how long did you start? 8, 9, 10. Oh, well, not quite. 3.5, technically. Ooh, we've been going on for a while.
Wow. We've been having fun.
Well, you guys are drunk.
What? Jesus Christ. Are we coherent? That's a real question I want to know.
I'm the rationalist. You guys, this appeals to generalizations is always incoherent to me.
Well, I'm making appeals to generalizations, but also in the sense that I'm just interrogating ideas the best way I can, like a drunk would. I had to have him on again at a different date. Because I'll be frank with you, I'm getting a very big fucking cotton mouth right now. Having and some people might say I'm a snake for that, saying that I'm giving away my scary thought, but my perception of time. No, I'm not gonna be a dick. That's horrible. It's a horrible thing to say. Actually, that's very horrible. What I just said. Oh yeah, forgive me. No, forgive me. I gotta be straight. Gotta be straight.
You mad at me? You mad at me?
I ain't mad at you. I'm just bored, to be honest. I honestly started.
Okay. That's fine. We don't talk about. I mean, it is what I'm about to tell you is very boring about the difference between truth.
No,
and
it's not. It's not. It's the fact that again, you came on our podcast. That is, you admit that. It's true, and I gave you a lot of my time. And
you did.
I did. And again, it wasn't just my time to give.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to upset anybody.
Oh no, it's just that we've been going for 3.5 hours.
Oh Jesus, fuck! That is actually true.
Yeah, it is. It is. And again, I don't know what the 3.5 hours mean to Luke, but I respect him enough to actually want to honor his request to leave. It's not that I want to avoid this. It's not that I want to avoid talking to you. It's just that we live lives. I have to get up and work in the morning. You have to. I don't know. You don't have a job. Do you have a job?
No, I do. Yeah.
Okay.
I do.
You have a job as well. And let's be frank. Hangovers are a bitch. Weeds don't have hangovers. At the same time, we all have something to do. It's not fair to Luke. It's not fair to you. It's not fair to me, given our responsibilities to just.
You're making me feel like a dick. All right, look, we gotta end the goddamn podcast. All right, Jesus.
All right.
Subtlety,
ladies and gentlemen,
subtlety.
we will. I'm sorry.
Jesus fucking Christ.
I'm sorry, man. I'm really sorry. We'll talk about this later. Remember, Saving the West is a side
All right,
quest.
play the guy.
This is Renegade podcast out. Go.
Yeah, play the outro music.
Do we have outro music?
I've got an outro music. It's the Hulk Hogan intro music.
All right, we're done. I stopped it.
Oh,
good